It's Mick in Memphis. Charles in East Tennessee. Light it up. Kick back. This is the Real Smoke Podcast. 2 mics, 2 chairs, same sky, different air, long ash, slow burn. Every story takes a turn. Thursdays, 8 o'clock. Let the week just unlock. From the leaf to the glass, we're talking good times that last. This is Real Smoke, Real Smoke. Turn it up, let it roll. From Memphis down the river to the Knoxville Hills, we know real people, real talk. Let the conversation flow. Every Thursday, light it, listen. Welcome to the Real Smoke Show. Cigars, small batch, perfect draw, perfect match. Whiskey whispers in the glass. Let the past and present clash. Legends, up and comers, late nights, long summers, behind the scenes, on the grind. We're getting into every side. This is Real Smoke, Real Smoke. Turn it up, let it roll. From Memphis down the river to the Knoxville Hills, we know real people, real talk. Let the conversation flow. Every Thursday, light it, listen. Welcome to the Real Smoke Show.
This episode may contain strong language, weak opinions, bad advice, and men speaking confidently about things they only half understand. Statements made should not be considered factual, morally sound, especially if they are drinking. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. It's more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 74 of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your hosts. That dude over there is Mick. I'm Charles, and we are here for another fantastic spooky. No, it's not spooky, but it's another crazy episode. We got something out of the box, or out of the bucket, I should say. We got a snake episode. Snake episode. Your mic's not on. Welcome back, man.
I already hit it, man. What happened? Yeah, I'm excited, man.
I don't know.
I'm super excited.
He's excited. He's so excited he couldn't hit the button. That's what she said. Anyways. Tonight we have Bruce Ireland on, the snake dude. Are you excited?
I am excited. I think you muted me, man. I really do. I'm pretty sure I hit the button. It's all right. I won't
You did
blame
hit the
you this
button.
time. All right.
Listen, you did not find the button.
I know that.
Keep searching. It is there. If you keep going, you'll find it one day.
I feel like
Just
I have
keep
a
going.
comment for this, but anyway.
Anyways, before we get started, we do need to say what's up to our family over at the Cigar Vault. What's up, Norm?
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that does this stupid shit in the cigar lounge. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't be that guy. Hey, man, how's it going? Welcome to the Cigar Vault. We are a very boutique-centric shop. Any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer for you.
Yeah, where are all the Cubans at?
Hang on one second. I can help you out with that one. Hey, Miguel, someone's asking for you. Somebody ordered a Cuban?
What's this? Oh, I want Cuban cigars.
What if you got something better? A true Cuban. That's the only Cubans we carry.
Yeah, no, I want to smoke a Cuban cigar. You know, I know Ramon Aliones, or, you know, I got my plug tool ready. I'm ready to hit some Cuban.
Blood tool? Not since college.
I got nothing for that one.
Miguel is, I love those ads, man. Miguel is great. We need to hang out with him in person, have a few beers. I'm a little nervous about it, but I would love to do it. It'd be a good time.
I'll just say, I mean, they keep getting better, but I did see that they put out a new one today, so I can't wait to get that one. Really quickly, comments coming in. Rob Cigars R says, "What's up, everyone? Good evening, everyone." From Wesley
Woodcock.
Woodcock. What's up, Woodcock?
He heard it was a snake episode.
He heard it was a snake episode, and Woodcock decided to jump on, and I bet he knows where the button is.
He probably knows.
Rob says, "Welcome to the Real Smoke with Charles and Silent Mick."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why is he?
Hello, guys. Am I eligible for the Bachelor or what? I'm not sure. And that's what she said. All right. So, anyways, let's let those guys just hang out and chill. What's up, Mick? Happy days.
Yeah, man. Thursday. I'm one day closer to vacation. I got 6 more work days, working straight through the weekend, and I got my new Speedo ready. I'm 100% ready to go. Vacation time, brother. It's already packed, ready to go.
Nice.
Ready to go.
I know you're
I'll make sure
excited.
I send you pictures. Oh, man, I am excited. And then at the end of that vacation, I get to stop and see you. So, I mean, it's going to be cool.
You do get to see me this time. You are correct.
I have stuff for you. I have a whole box of stuff packed for you, man. I'm ready. It's going to be great. I don't know where I'm putting it in the car.
Hopefully it's not a Speedo.
I could throw that in there for you when I'm done with it.
No, please don't.
All right.
Just sign it and give it away to Patreon. I'm sure they have something fun to do with it.
Would be cool.
I guess.
That'd be cool. We'll see.
No, not really. So I'm going to kick everything off this week. It's going to be a little bit of a sad note, but the reason I'm doing it now is because I don't want to end on a sad note. I want to go and let it be a great, great episode. So you guys have been following my journey over the last year and 3 months. A little over a year ago, my aunt passed away, which led into my mom moving in with us or moving back home. And then she passed away on Christmas. My uncle passed away shortly thereafter. And then right around Thanksgiving this year, my dad passed away. So the 4 people in my life that basically helped raise me all passed away within a year of each other. The last person in my life that was kind of from that generation was when I met my wife. I got to meet my mother-in-law. An amazing woman. Couldn't ask for a more godly woman. Couldn't ask for a more, she definitely had her family's thoughts at heart. And at 1:17 today, with Jennifer holding her hand and me standing beside of her, she passed. So just informing everybody who's been on this journey with all of us that this page has now closed. So,
and take a second, catch your breath there, brother. But we all love you, man, and we've been I've been praying for you guys every day. I know you've been through a lot over this past year, man, and I can't even imagine how much you've lost in this past year, brother. And I've lost words to say. I mean, I check in on you a lot, but there's not a whole lot anyone can say you can never bring somebody back, man. So I love you. I know a lot of people have been keeping you in your thoughts and prayers. So
yeah, I do want to say a huge thanks. Got to say a huge thanks to you. I mean, you have been right there constantly checking in. John Aldi every morning with a text asking how things are going. John, absolutely love and appreciate you for doing that. And Robert over at 13 Knives, we're all a family. I mean, Beard Apothecary with John, it's not just a sponsor, it's just not a brand. Robert at 13 Knives, not just a sponsor, a brand. We're all family. I mean, we're going through a lot together and we've been there for each other. So huge thanks to the 3 of you for really looking out for my family and myself. So huge thanks. Again, that's what I'm going to say. We're going to move on to happy notes. And I'm going to give the first happy note for the evening. Are you ready for my happy note?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
There it is. We're going into the next week. The Braves are leading right now 12-7 with the Phillies 8-10 record. But I will say this. It's not going to last long. Don't bust my bubble right now. It's not going to last long. I do understand that Braves and Phillies start meeting next week, or actually tomorrow, and the Phillies are going to really narrow down those records. So
Phillies need to fire their manager is what that needs to happen. But at the same time, congratulations. Enjoy it while you can. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm already buying the bottle of Still Austin to go ahead and have it ready for you. So,
if not, you have one for yourself.
Yeah, if not, I get to have another one. But I've already got the bottle put away. It's ready for me just to send it to you. I know the Braves. It's like the Falcons. when it comes to, we got to get it, we die. We just don't know how to win. So anyways.
Yeah, I wanted to add, I know I had put this out on TriStar. I got to meet up with Smokey Jack from Cavalier yesterday morning.
Ooh,
yeah,
really?
It was great. He dropped off a few things and gave me a little care package for vacation. So I got some Cavalier going with me now, and I don't have to deplete my stash in my humidor. So that's kind of nice. But no, it was great catching up with him. We went and had breakfast and just caught up a little bit about the brand and about going to PCA and about what he has going on. And he was stopping by the Smokers Abbey, and it's just great to see people when they're passing through, just be like, hey man, what are you doing? Let's get together for a little bit. So Jack, what's up? Thank you for stopping by, and we appreciate you, man.
Smokey Jack, thank you so much. Jack knew everything that was going on and knew that I could not meet up with him. And I'm glad that he was able to meet up with you to be able to do this, because we got a big project in the works for the TriStar Herf crew, which Absolutely. They just happen to be on the screen. Really quickly, speaking about cigars, let's go ahead and check out this one. Not that one. Sorry. This is Smokey and Cigar of the Month Club for $34.95, or that price right there. Use code RSNEW. You'll get 5 cigars in each month. If you use our code, you'll get a Smokey and Torch lighter and a perfect cutter. They are being super amazing with us, and they've stuck with us for quite a few months now. Actually, it's probably getting close to a year now. So go check those guys out. If you're not a part of a Cigar of the Month Club, one of the best ones for the best price, quality stuff. Go check them out.
Stars. Yeah.
We do have a Patreon. You want to go ahead and talk about the Patreon, Mick?
Sure, I would love to. So last week we just said, screw it, one price per month. I think you said I can say that, $5 a month, right there in your screen. You can become part of the Real Smoke Ashtray Illuminati. 15% off Cigar Vault, which alone pays for itself. A great sticker pack. We have some awesome stickers. Shout out on IG, name on the show credits, members only Discord, ask guest questions. The Discord thing, we need a few more members to really make this worthwhile, but join, we'll get this going. Was there a second page to that? There it is. Sneak peek at guests, enter to win quarterly prize packs, ability to attend monthly Zoom Herf, and ability to talk with and ask questions to the guests on the Zoom Herf. So yeah, Patreon is starting to grow a little bit. We got a couple last week, and it's coming around. So it's a work in progress. We're still learning what Patreon all has to offer and how we can best utilize it to give back to our fan base. So no, I love what it offers, and I think we're growing it, but we're still learning. So bear with us, help us grow. You there? Oh, there you go.
Next, here shortly, we do have one of our sponsors coming up. There I am. We do have one of our sponsors coming up. We do have the Cigar Army coming on to do a short podcast. So they have a new fundraiser that they're doing. Mick, do you have the information for that one?
I kind of do. So that what Frank had sent me. All right. So let me start with this one. Yeah. So it's a fundraiser for EMTs. It's at Brothers of the Leaf Lounge, Saturday, June 13th, 1 to 5 p.m. You're trying to make me say this? I don't know. It's Premium Non-Nakur Foundation, not Nakir Foundation. Anyway, the ticket includes one cigar, food, beer, soda, high noons, water, soda, cash bars available, and I believe the ticket's $75. Is that on the screen? I don't even see it. $70 right there. $70.
There you go, $70.
There's also
I'm about to say Real Smoke is doing something for him as well, correct?
We are. Yes, we're doing a T-shirt. There it is. The logo on the right is our Cigar Army Real Smoke Podcast T-shirt. You can get that on the merch store. All proceeds go to them, and we don't make a lot on these shirts, but we want to do something to give back, and we're gonna end up matching that donation however many shirts we sell anyway. We sold a few this week, so it's off to a good start. But we have over 40 designs on our merch store. The link's in the bio. The link's on our website. Check it out. Our T-shirts are pretty awesome. I think we each own 4 or 5 now, and I love them, man. There's some great designs. Most of them designed by that guy to my left, but or you're right, or I don't know. But either way, good designs, man.
So speaking of T-shirts, we do, and it is baseball season. We are talking about our baseball T-shirts. So check this one out. We do have the Real Smoke in the theme of Banana Ball League. So you have the Real Smoke 24 That is the year that we started the podcast. So on the back of that one, in the player's name, it does say Real Smokes Pod with the player's number of 24. If you want to happen to get a Mick shirt, his number is 16. It does have the Real Smoke 16. It says Mick at the top. And you do have mine, which is the Real Smoke 3. 3 has always been my number as well. Go check out our merch store. Go visit realsmokepod.com and you hit the merch link, and you'll be able to get any of the t-shirts that you've heard us talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've said it a couple of times, and I'm just going to say it one more time real quick. Every penny we make on the show goes right back into the show, or every penny we make on merch or Patreon or any of the sponsorships goes right back into the show and prizes to give back out to the fans. We're never trying to make money on this. We just want to see people in our merch and stickers and people enjoying the show and enjoying what we do. So we're just trying to give back to you guys and keep building this community.
I couldn't put it any better myself. So let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. We did smoke a cigar for this episode, and we do have a sponsor for that one. So let's go ahead and talk to 13 Knives.
Hey guys, this is Robert over at 13 Knives, and I want to talk about a very sensitive subject. You're in that moment. Everything's going right. You might even get lucky. So you reach down and you grab a very crappy cutter. And it just mangles that cigar. What do? You've let yourself down. You've let all your friends down. How are you going to live with that shame? What you need to do is get your hands on a badass bulldog cutter. It's made with 1095 high carbon steel that I get right here in the United States. And if you order one, I'll send it to you in this very discreet black box. And also, if you need to have something blue in that black box, here's the blue pill that actually does work. So you reach down, you grab that cigar, and you cut perfect every time. So get yourself a badass bulldog cutter today.
I only thought that one was appropriate for tonight because
Absolutely.
The way we kick things off. So tonight's cigar, Mr. Mick.
Tonight, this past week, we smoked the Northern Cigar Company El Brujo Green, wrapper Nicaragua Maduro, binder Nicaragua, filler Esteli Chilagre. Size was a 52x6, and the price is right there on your screen. And again, that's brought to you by 13 Knives.
I think it's about time we brought on our guest. We have hit that mark. We're 2 minutes over that mark. So our guest tonight is brought to you by Destination Cigars.
Step into the world of cigars like never before.
What?
I don't know what happened on that one, but here we go. We will try that one more time because, wow.
Step into the world of cigars like never before at Destination Cigar Lounge, home of the exclusive Allegory cigar brand. Whether you're kicking back at Governor's Crossing in Sevierville, Tennessee, or soaking up the rich aroma at Almost Havana in Hurricane, West Virginia, every visit is an adventure. From top-tiered cigars to expert recommendations and a laid-back atmosphere, it's the perfect place to relax, connect, and enjoy the craft. If you are looking for bold and unforgettable flavors, escape to the world of Allegory cigars. Kick back with the rich Mexican San Andres Dividend. Enjoy the smooth intrigue of the censored Sumatra, or fire up the bold and flavorful Escape Habano. For more information, you can follow them on Instagram at destination_cigars, or you can explore more by visiting them online at destinationcigarlounge.com, or take a journey to one of their 3 locations in West Virginia and Tennessee. No matter where your cigar journey takes you, every blend is an experience worth savoring. Where the road ends, the perfect smoke begins at Destination Cigar Lounge.
All right, before we bring on our guest, make sure that you type in the comments, #RealSmoke. If you type in the #RealSmoke, that means you're entering in a chance to win a $25 gift card to to the Cigar Vault Oakdale. Yeah, I messed up again. But that's only if you've won before. If you haven't won from us before, type in the #RealSmoke new, and you'll be entered in or win. So here we go. On the stage now is the man of the hour, Mr. Bruce Ireland. What's up, sir?
Wow, so great to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show. I am humbled and honored. I first want to say, Charles, I just heard your story, and I got a little emotional, and I don't really know you. So I just lost my father myself. So it came screaming back to reality how much loss can affect us. But I will tell you this, it does make us stronger. We do get through it, and you will be okay.
I 100% appreciate that so much.
Yeah. And Mick, for you, I want to know where they allow a big haired, bearded, tattooed guy in a Speedo. Like, where are you going on vacation, brother?
Man, we like to go on an all-inclusive about every year. It's not pretty, trust me, but enough drinks, everything's fine. It's all good, yeah. But I'm going to Punta Cana this year.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, we're going to the Dominican. Our friends, we were planning it. We usually go every other year. And last year we went to Aruba, and it was amazing. And we're like, all right, this is our off year, and we're talking about another move because of my job, but that's a whole other story. But we're like, we're not going to go to one this year. And our friends called us, and they're like, hey, it's our 35th wedding anniversary. And it doesn't seem like anybody else is going. We'd really love you guys to go, but no pressure. And we're like, fuck it, we're going. So we're going to Punta Cana. Yeah. You only live once, man. Nobody travels too little, when they get old. Like, I want to travel. I love it. So
we're right there with you. In fact, my kids laugh because I actually have a dedicated drawer to Speedos. And I'm not shitting you. I swear to God, man, I've got one with snakes on them and lions on them. Every trip we take, in my stocking stuffer, the Christmas prior to the trip, my kids and wife get me a Speedo that goes along with the trip. So I've got some fascinating ones. Not all of them I could even wear in public, to be really, really honest with you guys.
The one I got for this year is very questionable to wear in public. But I will say this, I can't talk about it right. I'll fill everybody in later on a future episode, but I got a custom one done, and that's all I can say. And then so it's a custom made one with pictures. It's going to be great. So like if he's listening, though, he's going to be like, it's going to get his head spinning right now. But yeah, it's going to be a great experience.
Hey, nothing brings the party like a Speedo and a thing of whiskey and a cigar, brother.
You're damn right. That's going to be my whole week in Punta Cana. I promise you, from probably 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Just use good sunblock. Those pink parts burn quick.
Ooh, yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding.
All right, here we go. Let's start.
All right. So like we always like to say, we like to take it all the way back. We want to get to know the man before he was the man. So let's talk about where you grew up a little bit. Where did you grow up? What kind of child was you? And what were some of your interests?
Yeah, so I was the son of parents from Canada, dad in the oil business. Mom never worked other than raising us. So we moved all the time. When I was very young, 6 months old, we moved to London, England. So I learned to speak the language there. I started school there. So I was very English. And we moved to the United States, back to the United States when I was 6. So I had a proper English accent, and we moved to a rural part of Texas, Houston suburb called Kingwood. But in 1975, it was pretty rural. And I was little, and I had an English accent and didn't have any friends. I got picked on, but I quickly discovered that right out my back door was everything amazing about nature, including all the venomous snakes that America has, or United States has. So there was copperheads, water moccasins, coral snakes, and rattlesnakes. And in 1975, your parents, or at least my parents, really didn't know what I was doing, didn't care what I was doing. Plus I had 2 sisters, and as long as they were okay, the only boy in the family, didn't really matter. So as long as I was home by dinner time, I could do whatever I want. So I was out catching venomous snakes from a very, very young age. I would say I was a snakeaholic around 9 or 10 years old.
Wow. So I was going to, obviously ask the questions like, what were you into in school? Like, were you a good kid in school? I mean, we can still get into that a little bit, but like, I thought we'd progress into snakes maybe teenage years or so, but man, you were early.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was into sports, but like I said, I'm 6'2", 210 pounds now. I was small all through middle school. I played baseball. I was a lefty, so I was a left-handed first baseman. My dad was my coach. I played football, but I wasn't very big until the senior year, summer between. I grew to 6'2". So they moved me to tight end. I had pretty good hands. Texas has a pretty good football program. but it wasn't really the draw. I liked sports. I enjoyed sports, but I wasn't a gifted athlete like some people are. So I did other things. I went to college in Texas, enjoyed Texas a lot, but moved to California soon after leaving college. And that's where, I really found the sports that I love, which was triathlon.
Okay. So, triathlon. So running, biking, swimming.
Yeah. Swimming,
Okay.
biking, running. Yeah. And San Diego, where I live now and have for 33 years, is a super fit place. Everybody seems to be in shape or athletic in some way, and surfing and beaches and running and training is just part of the lifestyle. And I gravitated towards triathlon. And up until my kids came into this world, I was competing at the level of Ironman, which is about the top of you can get. I don't do it anymore. It's a big time sucker, but I have plenty of things now with the snakes that I do, so I'm never bored.
Yeah. So,
So
I get,
what
go ahead, Charles.
go ahead. I was just going to say, going into some of the things with the triathlon, I don't hear many people in this area that's into triathlon. What were some of the things that kept you going and kept you, loving that? Because it's not like just running a marathon. You're running a marathon 3 different ways. So that's extremely interesting.
So triathlon capital is San Diego, California. Primarily our weather. We don't get hot. We don't get cold. So you can train year round. Plus we live right on the Pacific Ocean. So part of the training is swimming. So most of my swimming was done in the Pacific Ocean with temperatures, in the 50s and 60s. So it certainly toughens you up a little bit. And then the biking around San Diego, California is fabulous. And like you said, you got to be able to get off that bike and run a marathon. So it was really challenging. I loved it. It's an amazing subgroup of people. They're very unique in their own way. They're very, very anal about everything. And it's an independent sport. You're not counting on anybody else to help you. It's you. You start and you finish alone. And I kind of like that aspect because you don't rely on a team. You rely on yourself and your ability to get up every morning and train.
So I guess backing up for me, I always like to back up a little bit. So you said you spent a lot of time in the woods learning about snakes. So was it something that you were just intrigued by, or was something you were really digging into and figuring out, like what species these snakes were? Like, is it something you really were digging into heavily at that time in your life, or no?
Probably not digging in heavily. I wouldn't use that term, but I found that finding snakes was kind of the highlight of my time out in the woods. And, we lived on these lakes surrounded by forests that had nothing, and you could literally disappear all day back there. And, we'd see all kinds of wildlife in Texas. You could see anything, but the snakes, whenever I would see them, would be the kind of the diamond of the day, if you will. That was when I got really excited. And I had to quickly learn that some snakes can put you in the hospital. And my dad was not a snake person, nor was my mom. Being from Canada, that just wasn't part of their life. So I had to self-teach or self-taught myself everything. I had to study and learn about them. I had to know which ones I could pick up and put around my neck and which ones I certainly did not want to do that with. And Texas had all of them. It had some of the most toxic snakes in the country with the coral snake. And I won't dive into too much about what snakes can do what, but basically all 4 of the snakes that are dangerous in the States are found in Texas. And I just, the more dangerous the snake, the more excited I got that I got to find them.
So listening to you talk about that earlier and now listening to you talk about that now, there is a deep, deep passion with snakes. So there has to be a time growing up when it comes to, as a kid finding snakes, that there was either that one moment that was like, this is so cool, or this is so scary. What were some of those moments growing up that you were like, holy crap?
It's funny is as a kid with very limited parental guidance, I'm really lucky that I was never bitten by a venomous snake. And now at my age now, I can still make that claim. I have still, and I don't plan on it, have never been bitten by a venomous snake. So I didn't have the scary things, but I remember when I was a kid and I would show up at an event of some sort and I would have a snake with me. And I think what really drove me was how much attention it got. And when you're a shy, small little kid, still with a little bit of an English accent, and all of a sudden people gravitate to you, it's powerful stuff, you know? And I was like, holy crap, this is cool. And then this is back to when there was landlines. So there was no cell phones or anything like that. And my reputation of being a kid that loved snakes got out in our community. And my house phone would ring and my mom would answer it and say, hold on a minute. And they'd say, Bruce, somebody in our neighborhood had a snake. Would you want to help them? And I would literally get on my Huffy bike and pedal my little fat ass all the way to that house with a pillowcase and a stick that I would break off as I pulled into the driveway. And that's what I would get to use to put them in a pillowcase. And I was so excited that people were actually entrusting me to help them with a snake they would have at their house. And this is young, man. Again, this is when I was 11, 12, 13 years old. So I was starting to feel like I had purpose, I guess, if you will.
Charles kind of already touched on this, but I was going to say, you know, like at what moment are you like, this is my thing? I want to do something with snakes my whole life. Did that happen obviously early on, right? I just like right away.
You know, it's funny is no, not to the level that it took to get to about 8 years ago when I started the Snake Wranglers, but all through my life, from those days when I was pedaling my bike to get snakes to current, anywhere I went, on any trip my family went on, whether we were camping or whether we were, you know, anywhere, I was always hoping that I could find the local snakes. I'd be flipping over pieces of wood in the trash. I'd be looking under boards when we were camping. But it was almost just like a passion. It wasn't really something I ever thought I could put to good use. It wasn't until, you know, in the last 9 years that I realized that I could take something that I'm passionate about and actually turn it into something that helped the community that I live in. And that's kind of when I realized, okay, this is a light bulb moment.
So you talked about, you know, going into college and you're doing triathlons and stuff. Going from when you were younger and having a passion for snakes and then going into college, did that same passion carry along through that time? Or did you give it up for a little while? Or was you still searching for those snakes?
No. Yeah. Well, so about 16 or 17, I discovered this other really cool thing, and it was called girls. And man, talk about like hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, from age 17 all the way through college, that was pretty much more fascinating than something with no arms and no legs. They were like, oh, this is really cool. So there was definitely a period where snakes sadly had to take a back seat to my newfound intrigue that was the other sex than male. And and it was a lot of fun all through college. That was probably my main drive. Well, of course, getting my education and becoming smart and getting a career and all that stuff. That was really important too.
So how long did it take you from going from snakes and learning about how, you know, dangerous they are until learning about girls and realizing they're just as dangerous?
Well, to be honest, they're way more dangerous. Way more dangerous. That was actually kind of in early college when I started realizing how badly they could hurt you and really mess you up. Luckily, I was never bitten by one of those either, so that worked out well in my favor. But no, college was like everybody's college experience. I would assume it's meant to get away from your parents and have some fun. And I went to college in East Texas in a small Texas town called Nacogdoches, which you'd be hard pressed to find it on a map, but I got a great degree. I was in the Greek system. I was a fraternity kid for a while. I got a business degree, but snakes kind of had to take a back seat for a while. There were snakes where I was, and I would see them when I was out hunting or fishing. But again, I would just enjoy them and move on. I wasn't really doing what I do now, which is snake relocation. So college wasn't really a snake time.
So your time in college, going into college, you said you graduated with a business degree. What did you end up doing after college?
Yeah, so right after college, I moved to Dallas, Texas, and I went to work for Ross Perot, who was a presidential candidate back in the day. He had a company called EDS, which was Electronic Data Systems. I used one of my fraternity brothers who had an in there and parlayed that into a pretty good position in Texas. And I was a suit and tie guy, you know, white shirt, red tie, dark suit, lace up shoes. And I absolutely hated it. Probably the worst couple years of my life. And I know that I am never going to ever work in a cubicle again and answer phones in a dark suit with a, you know, red tie on, ever. And if I didn't say it enough, ever. I'm not, that's not me. And so I left that world and went into the hotel world in sales. And that's how I got to San Diego. The company that hired me in Texas asked me if they would be, or asked me if I'd be interested in opening a office in San Diego, California. And I was packed and out the door before I even answered their question. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Beach, living on the beach in San Diego, California, doesn't sound too shitty.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was going to ask so, and this is one of those you might not want to touch on too much, but I was going to say, so what point did you meet your wife in this? Because I know you obviously have a family and whatever. And the reason I was asking is, what was her thoughts when she found out that you were like obsessed with snakes? Does she like wildlife and everything as well? Like how does that fall in place?
Okay. So I will back up and say that my wife now is my second wife, and my kids that I have now are from that marriage. I got married to my college sweetheart, and I call that my starter marriage. It allowed me to make all my mistakes and learn a lot and actually grow up. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like for me, I wasn't a growing up until late into my 30s. And so my marriage from the college time didn't last 5 years. I gave it what you call a hell of a try. So that marriage didn't last. Then I was single in San Diego for 20 years. And then I met my now wife, which is probably the craziest story. I'll touch on it briefly. I'm still in the hotel industry. I still have a job that I do, but I was in Tokyo, Japan, and I was opening a Ritz-Carlton hotel over there. And I saw this 6 foot tall brunette with blue eyes on the subway. And I was too shy to say anything to her. And I didn't. So 4 days later, my last day, excuse me, in Tokyo, I got on the subway and I saw her a second time. And this is a city with 30 million people, and it was completely different parts of the city. So I felt I needed to make contact. So that person is now my wife of almost 20 years, and we have a 15 and a 17-year-old. So if you ask that person how she feels about snakes, it would probably be something to the effect of, not a big fan, but if it makes you happy, it makes me happy.
That's cool. That's exactly what I was looking for. Like I knew there had to be a story, but I didn't expect all the twists and turns along the way, but I like it. It's great.
Yeah. So my wife was a big performer on Broadway in New York City. She was in 6 back-to-back Broadway shows. And I always tease her that her idea of wildlife was either a pigeon or a sewer rat. You know, she didn't really have a whole lot of wildlife in New York City. So when she met me with a background in my, fishing, hunting, camping, skiing, surfing, snakes, I put it all out on the table. Here's what you're going to get when you get me. And she signed on the dotted line, and I still think she thinks it's pretty cool.
So I guess we got to figure out how you got into, where you're at now. So you in college, get married for the first time, your starter wife. You're still working in the hotel industry. So how do you find yourself going back into, I had a passion before, I still have that passion, I'm not doing anything with it, I want to do something with it. How did it all come about?
Yeah, that's probably the question of the day. So we live in San Diego, California, and in San Diego, California, if you have a snake on your property, what most people do is dial 911, which that triggers the emergency response system to contact the local fire department. They determine that where you are, and they send a really well-dressed firefighting group of 3 beautiful men with beautiful big mustaches in a big red fire truck, and they kill them. And the way I learned this was I was on a business trip, and my wife at the time called me. She had our daughters, who were both very, very young at the time, and said, we have a snake in our yard. And I didn't know about the fire department yet. So I said, call the fire department, to which she did. And about 45 minutes later, she called me back, and I said, how did it go? And she said, well, they were really cute firefighters, and they came in our backyard with a shovel and they cut it in half. And I was pretty pissed. And I said, wait, what? You said it was a gopher snake, which, if you don't know gopher snakes are completely harmless snakes. They're rodent eaters. She had sent me a picture. I had already told her it was a gopher snake, yet the fire department that responded determined that was the best course of action, was to take a shovel and cut it in half. So when I got home from my trip, I marched down to that fire station, knocked on the door, and asked if anybody was on that call the day before, and one of them was there. I said, what's the deal? And he said, that's our protocol. That's what we're trained to do. We don't know any better. And that was it. The next day, I took a picture that I had of myself, and my 2 young daughters at the time were 6 and 8. And I put it on an app called Nextdoor. And I said, please stop calling the fire department. A snake on your property is not a medical emergency. Please don't bother those people. Call me. I'll show up. I'll take it away. I'll put it back in nature, and I'll do it for free. And literally that started it. And it was slow the first year. I think we probably had 50 snake calls, but I thought 50 snake calls, I had won the lottery, because not only do I love snakes, but I've always loved helping my community. I've always been passionate about volunteering, but now people were calling me to their property to get snakes. So I don't even have to leave my house to go look for them in nature. I get to get in my car and drive to people's house and find them. So it worked out pretty amazingly.
It is amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's something you're passionate about, and you're saving these snakes and putting them back where they need to be, out in nature, instead of somebody's backyard potentially hurting somebody. So yeah, no, that's amazing, man. So I did have kind of a question. I mean, I don't know how far back this goes, but like, have you ever had any formal training with actually handling snakes, or kind of like anything, or is this all self-taught and things you've learned over the years?
Yeah. So to answer that quickly, no, not formal, in that I've never gone to a place that teaches venomous snake training, which they do offer. But when I was doing this as a young kid, I didn't have any money. My parents weren't going to send me to venomous snake training, nor did we even know it existed. So everything I learned literally in the field, or whatever you want to call it, in the bush. And fast forward now, everything that I learned to do it properly and safely, I basically taught myself. The use of the tools that I use, the use of the capture bucket that I use, the transport system that I use, everything I learned on my own. But it wasn't perfect when I started. Every time I go on a snake call, if I found myself making a mistake, and not a mistake that I was getting bitten, certainly, but just if I did something, I'm like, shit, I could have done that a little differently. It would have made it safer for myself, or safer for the snake. I would put that into my protocol and my training. And now that I'm responsible for 45 individuals, and every year we bring on, 4 or 5 more team members, and we're training hundreds of firefighters, that now has to be put into a step by step training. And that's what we teach. So it's become kind of its own, we call it the Wrangler method. It's become its own venomous snake handling technique.
Amazing.
So
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Mick.
No, that's exactly what I was going to go into. Was you're now passing that along. I'm sure we can get into that a little bit further with all the people, a little bit later in the show. But man, that's all this self-taught knowledge and everything that you've learned over the years has just turned into basically a textbook on how to handle snakes. It's amazing. So, and I do want to say one more thing real quick before I forget. We should have started the show off this way. I got to thank Mark for kind of setting this up. Our buddy from New Zealand, he's a huge fan, man. And honestly, I've seen your videos, but I never even thought about having you on the show until Mark had reached out to you and then reached out to us. And Mark's a good friend of ours. Mark's actually, for the first time ever, maybe not listening live tonight because he's in Australia for a funeral himself. It's kind of a bummer of a night, one of those nights. But Mark, we appreciate you, man, and
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks,
For
Mark.
setting this up.
I mean, I'm so grateful for the connection. And sorry about the funeral, brother.
He is watching. Okay, cool. He is watching. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I'm sorry you're in Australia for a funeral, but you're in a pretty place, and thanks for the connection.
Absolutely. And sorry, Charles, had to cut you off before I forgot, because that's the way my brain works, man. I'm all over the place. So carry on.
So mine was going into, I love, when we started hearing about you, it was, Bruce Ireland, Snake Wrangler. So, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's just, a guy that captures snakes. That's pretty cool. And coming over to this, and one of the things Mick likes to do, he likes to jump in and really deep dive into our guest. I don't. I want to let my questions come naturally. And when I'm realizing that Snake Wranglers is now an organization that you are putting together, let's talk about how you decided to put together this group of people, and where it started and where it's going now.
Yeah, wow. Gosh, that's going to make me think. So, to be really honest, when I started this with my daughters, because of the fire department situation I mentioned earlier, I really had no idea at all that this was going to happen. And that particular event happened right before COVID hit. And when COVID hit, my job basically ceased to exist. I kept my job, but they weren't allowing me to go out in the field and call on hotels. So I was sitting on my butt literally for 2 years. And I had just started the Snake Wranglers, and all of a sudden, a lot of other people were sitting at home. And when you have a lot of people sitting at home in San Diego and being told they can't even leave, they're going to start noticing the critters that are in their own backyard. And my phone started to blow up. And at first, I was getting calls that were coming in from all over San Diego County. And I would ask them, where are you calling from? And they would say like El Cajon or parts of San Diego that I could never get to. It's an hour away. And I would sadly have to say, I'm so sorry, I can't help you. And that broke my heart, because I knew they were going to then turn around and get a shovel or call the fire department. But fortunately, almost simultaneously, people started calling me saying, hey, I'm also a snake lover and want to help. Would you ever consider bringing me on? And at first I was like, hey, warm body, let's go. And I was just trying to bring people on to help me field the number of calls. But pretty soon I realized there had to be some responsibility with that. And I couldn't just let any, Tom, Dick, or Harry go out and represent my brand, even though I didn't even have a brand yet. But I couldn't let people I didn't know walk onto a property, representing me without knowing them. So I started doing a much more sophisticated onboarding process, if you will. And if you don't mind, I'll go through it briefly. But it always starts with a face-to-face. There's a coffee shop that I love. It's got outdoor seating, so I can bring my tools so they can see what I use. And I just want to sit across from somebody. I gain so much from talking face-to-face and getting to know them. And a lot of them don't even have that much snake background. But if you're a likable person, you're someone that I feel like I would be friends with, then I can teach you the skills of snake wrangling. So the first initial meeting is just, do I like you? Do you like me? And do you have your head in the right place to do this? If the answers to all that were yes, they would have to buy the specific tools that we use for snake wrangling, which isn't a lot. It's about a $200 investment, which involves a snake tong, a snake hook, a bucket with a lid, and then some really good snake boots. Once they had that skin in the game, we would come back together for what we call live snake training. And that's where we would actually teach the Wrangler method. And we would start with a pretend rattlesnake, a rubber snake that you got off Amazon that looks like a real one. And we would go through all the steps with no risk. If you make a mistake with a rubber snake, you're okay. As soon as they felt confident with that, I would switch to a live wild snake, and they would have to work with that snake. Then they would sign a liability waiver. Actually, they would sign the liability waiver at the front of all this. And then they would have to go on 3 or 4 snake calls with me, because I tell people this all the time. I could be in a $40 million mansion in La Jolla one day, and I'm in a trailer park the next day, and we want to treat them all the exact same way with the utmost respect and care. And I gain a lot from watching somebody on a snake call, how they interact with people. So if they can check all those boxes, then there's now a test that they have to take. It's a 70-question test about snakes in general in San Diego, what you might see. Can you identify them? How far should you take them for the relocation? You know, proper handling skills, true or false. It's okay to leave a snake in a hot car for an hour, you know, but they have to pass that test. And if that happens, they get through all that, then they become part of the team.
I mean, I would not have thought it was that rigorous of a test, but I'm also thankful that it is, because I mean, you're training people to go out there and potentially save somebody's life, because if the homeowner decides to go out there and try to take care of a rattler and all of a sudden they mess up, they're going to get bit. And that's, you know, something that you definitely don't want happening. And so if you've got these guys who are highly trained and qualified, able to go out there and take care of the situation, but do it humanely and then relocate the snake, that's amazing. So
yeah. And one thing you said that's kind of funny, you said these guys, half my team is female, and I love it. And they're as good, if not better than my male guys. I have an amazing group. And what's really crazy is none of us have the same background. I've got military, I've got former attorneys, I've got city council people, I've got surf instructors, I've got models. It's broad. It's so weird. I always ask, so what do you do for a living? And they tell me, and I'm always like, wow, so you're an attorney. Got a Second Amendment attorney. That's just amazing because, you know, just for that reason. But I've got, you know, I got retired Marines. I've got retired Navy people. I've got a pilot that was a Navy pilot. So it's really cool when you peel back the layers, and the passion that boils to the top is community service and snakes.
So that kind of goes into, you were talking about the different backgrounds. I was about to ask the question, when you're looking at all these people who are either applying to be a part of your team, what is some of the backgrounds of somebody that, you know, when they came to you, absolutely blew your mind that, okay, they actually want to get into this? Would have never thought that would have happened.
Well, I've got the extremes. So a couple people on my team are far more advanced in science and biology by schooling and by trade than I am. Like I said, I was a businessman, a business major, and I cut my teeth on snakes just out in the wild. Some of my people, man, you get them going on snakes and the actual science of them, I just shut my mouth. I can't even keep up. And then I've got people on my team. One of them literally is a male model that's a surf instructor that surfs to make money. It's crazy. And the interesting thing is, I do ask early on, how much experience do you have with snakes in general? And I let them answer that. But then I also ask, how much experience do you have with venomous snakes? Because that changes everything. And again, not to say you couldn't come on the team and have zero experience with venomous snakes, because I could teach it to you. But I always like to have people that are somewhat knowledgeable and, oh, there we go, have been around venomous snakes. So it's not a precursor to being on the team, but it is nice.
Yeah, no, that's I'm sure that's definitely something you need to know, that background at least a little bit, to know what their intentions are before getting them on, because that's something that could definitely affect everything you've built to this point. That is something, actually, it seems like you're going right down some of my questions. So I do believe that there's certain people out there that handle snakes and enjoy snakes just for the clickbait of social media and the world that we live in these days. What percentage do you think that is? And I mean, I really don't think there's any. I personally don't think, if you're not doing anything with it, you know, like you are, you're doing something that's a community service to try to help the animal as well as help the people in the community. I mean, I'm not trying to have you badmouth anybody in particular, but I mean, what percentage do you think is actually out there doing the right thing or not doing the right thing with it?
So I'll bite my tongue and I won't say any specifics, but I'll also say that there are a lot of people who use social media to self-gain and self-promote. And when it comes to snakes, one of the ways to do that is to do things that are dangerous. knowingly do things that are dangerous. And I'm not going to say any of the creators out there, but they know who they are. They take risks that are completely unnecessary. There are several that have been bitten by highly toxic venomous snakes and have lost parts of their body in doing so. Now, that's not to downplay their love of the animal or their passion for the industry, but I believe if your motivation is purely for likes, follows, and comments, you're probably doing it for the wrong reason. I'll say this too. When I started doing this, I only had a Facebook page, and my Facebook page was because I was having a 30-year high school reunion, and that was how they were communicating. So I started it. Before that, I had no social media. I didn't have an Instagram page. I didn't have a TikTok page. Certainly didn't have a YouTube page. And my girls, who this was the era when TikTok was the thing, were like, Dad, you should start a TikTok page because you're filming these or recording these calls. People would probably get a kick out of them. And I thought, TikTok, don't you have to like dance or do some weird, prank? And they're like, no, you can do anything. So I did. I started a TikTok page and I posted some videos early on. This is probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I woke up one day and, a cup of coffee, looking at my phone, opened up TikTok, and I had my first viral video. And it had, I think, 3 million views since I had gone to bed the night before. And I was blown away. So I get that draw. That's cool. You feel that importance when all of a sudden you're like 3 million people watch something that I did. So I understand those creators that are drawn to doing content because they get the views. But if that's your sole motivator, then maybe you're doing it for the wrong reasons, I think. But I just post videos because I legally have to record what I do in case someone says I did something wrong. And B, I didn't know this aspect, but people either love snakes or hate snakes, but they sure seem to like people messing with them. And I secretly think they want to see me get bitten on video, but I hate to break everybody's hearts. My goal is to never do that.
I will say a couple questions really quickly from the chat. So you have Smoking Solstice still on there. He says, question, what's Bruce's favorite snake genus or favorite snake in general?
Man, that's a great question. And my answer to that question used to be kind of canned and corny. I would say a live snake as opposed to a dead snake. But I know people probably want to know, like, what am I drawn to? And I will say this. There are certain snakes that are found in other parts of the world that are like magical to me. I want to see them one day. And as I mentioned earlier, I think when we were off camera, we take a big family trip every year. We plan 3 years in advance. And part of the planning of that trip is to figure out where can we go where we're going to see unique wildlife. Where are we going to go where there might be things that might not be here in a few years because they're going to go extinct? So we just got back from Borneo. We wanted to see orangutans. But in Borneo, Indonesia, there's also one of my favorite snakes, which is cobra. To see a cobra in the wild would be mind-blowing. Same with Africa. We've been to Africa 3 different times on safaris, and to see a mamba, a black mamba or a green mamba, would be breathtaking. Sadly, I've come up short on all those. We've seen snakes while we're traveling, but it hasn't been one of the magical that I'd love to see, like a boomslang or a gaboon viper. But those are all snakes that, man, when I see a video with someone playing with a king cobra, I can't help but watch it. Or a black mamba, or a boomslang, which is, just a snake that would blow my mind to see in real life. So I can't really say what my favorite snake is. I think if I was to answer it, one simple snake that I think is the most beautiful is a gaboon viper. It looks like some Picasso painting that was made on a canvas and said, let's just throw a bunch of paint on it and then make it highly venomous and really beautiful. And that's it. I think that's the snake I would love to see the most.
So I'm going to apologize to everybody. I put it in the chat as well. We do have that storm that I talked about earlier that's moving in. It is actually here. I'm under a big metal tin building, so you're going to hear it in the background. So I apologize to everybody. But the next question from the chat is Cigar Test Ride says, craziest situation you have been in.
So one that hit me to the core and still does when I think about it, and it probably will when I tell the story, was I got a call for a snake. This particular lady said it was inside her home. Not out of the norm. We get probably 6 to 10 snakes inside homes every year. San Diego has beautiful weather. We leave our sliding doors open. They make entrance and then they get lost in the house. So I get to this house, and the crazy thing was it was very close to where I live. Very nice house from the outside. Lady met me at the front door. She had some type of doodle dog with a vest on that said working dog. So I asked if I could pet it. And I also said, do you mind if I record? And she said, go ahead. And yes, you can pet my dog. As soon as she opened the front door, my mouth probably dropped. I walked in and there was no power. So there was no lights. It was broad daylight, but there was no lights on. And it was a hoarder house. And I'd always heard about hoarder houses because I'd watched the show Hoarders before, but I'd never seen one. And the first thing that impacted me the most was the smell. When I walked through the front door, the smell of rodent urine and feces and rotting vegetables hit me literally like a punch to the nose. And I walked in, and I think I might have let out a guttural oof. And she said, I know, we had a flood and we're still trying to clean up. And I thought, well, shit, we haven't had rain here in like 3 years. So again, I'm trying my best to be professional. I walk in, and all that was accessible was narrow walkways through this house. Everything else was stacked to the ceiling with, I don't even know what. And what's crazy is I had a flashlight. I always carry a flashlight. And I walked in and there was no light. So I clicked on my light, and sitting on the stairway was a child, maybe 7 or 8 year old girl with a dyed pink strip. And as my light caught her, I was recording. I purposefully moved away quickly because I know most people don't want their children. And so I'm walking, and now we've probably moved through what would have been a living area into what would be the kitchen. There are refrigerators, but they're just sitting in the middle of the room, open, with plants growing out of them. There's potatoes that have roots probably growing 8 feet long. And I'm so shocked by the smell. And by the way, I'm walking through maybe a foot wide path that has rodent droppings that I'm sticking. My feet are sticking. And now I know that I'm looking at it, and I'm trying not to say anything, but I'm so fixed on what I'm visually seeing that I step over this box and my foot lands about 6 inches away from a huge rattlesnake, and it starts rattling. And the only reason that I knew it was there is it gave me, fortunately, a rattle to warn me, which I moved my foot back luckily. And I think on the video, I actually yelled, Jesus Christ, which generally I don't say those words, but that's the first thing that came out of, and I shined my light down to a rattlesnake that was probably 6 inches from my feet when I saw it. And I got the snake, I got it in the bucket, but then I felt compelled to say something about what I was seeing. And I said something to the effect of, unfortunately, you've got a ton of rodents that live in this house, and you need to clean this up because this won't be the last snake that you have in here. Because all her doors were open to her backyard because they probably didn't keep AC. They had no electricity. But that was the most upsetting call, because when I left, I came out and I had to tell that to somebody. So I told the people on my team, 2 of which are surgeons. And because they're doctors, they felt they needed to report this. And they put that pressure on me to report what I had just seen to Child Protective Services, which was really challenging for me. I didn't want to ruin someone's life. I didn't want to make a phone call, but ultimately that's what happened. So that was probably overall the most visceral, gut-wrenching call I've been on. Not the scariest with snakes or anything, but just where I realized how people live sometimes.
So I'm going to say, again, pardon the sound behind me, but Before I ask the next question, everybody, make sure you type in if you've never won a prize from us before. Type into the comments hashtag Real Smoke New. If you've won from us before but you haven't won this month, type in hashtag Real Smoke. So my next question would be, they said, what was the wildest thing that you've ever come into? What is the coolest experience since you've been doing Snake Wranglers that you've got to go through?
Well, I get met with some pretty beautiful women wearing some pretty small outfits. Does that count for anything?
That absolutely counts. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to count for something. I got to say, when they call, they know they have 20 or 30 minutes till I get there. You'd think that would give them time to plan. But I'd say, let's see, coolest call I've ever had. We had a call years ago where a lady called, and I will say this, a lot of the people that call me, the phone call starts the same way. It's panicked. I can hear they're scared. And they usually say something to the effect of, I have a huge snake. To which I usually say, okay, deep breath. Tell me what you have. Well, it's huge. It's, huge. And usually when I get there, the huge snake turns out to be a 2-foot harmless snake. So I've learned that huge snake from a panicked person doesn't always equate to a huge snake. But this particular call, this lady said she's walking her dog and there is a snake that crossed the road in front of her that was huge. And I questioned her. She said, well, let me just send you a video. And I said, yeah, please. So she sends me the video, and sure enough, it was a huge, at the time the video wasn't clear, so either boa constrictor or python, pushing the 10 to 12 foot range. And San Diego does not have native huge snakes that are pushing that length. So I knew right away it was something amazing. So I quickly, and by the way, I carry a 5-gallon bucket. That's my catch bucket for most all snakes. I panicked. What am I going to do? I literally took one of our big rolling outdoor trash cans, dumped it out in my driveway full of trash, threw it in the back of my vehicle, and that was going to be my makeshift, catch bucket. I got there, and by that point, she didn't have eyes on it. So we started searching and ultimately found that it had moved its way into a small patio home and had coiled up by her back door, unbeknownst to her. She had no idea. And all of a sudden, I'm climbing over her fence. She's coming out saying, why are you in my yard? And I say, you have a very large snake in your yard. But that was probably one of the more exciting calls, because in California, where we live, we'll get one of 6 snakes. Every single call is one of those 6 or 7 snakes. So to get a call where it actually is something unique and huge, and I didn't want to get bitten by this thing. So it was truly a wrangle. It was pretty amazing, but we got it and ultimately put it into my trash can, not to my wife's pleasure, but that's what we did. And we ended up taking it to the wild animal park and giving it to them, because I can't keep a giant, non-native snake at my house.
Man, those last 2 stories, I've been riveted. It's like I'm not even part of the show. Like I'm riveted, man. It's good stuff. So tell me about where you are now. Like I know you said you have a lot of. I don't know if you actually said the number of people that you actually have that's part of the Wranglers, but tell us a little bit more about where that is and what you see the future of that being. Obviously it keeps growing and you're building, and I love that you're involved in. I agree with you, man. That face to face when you're trying to feel someone out. I do the same thing for interviews in the job I'm in. They're always like, do you want to do it on Zoom or in person? I'm like, every time in person, because you can read mannerisms, you can figure people out pretty quickly. I mean, it's what I do for a living. But tell us from your side, man, like where do you want this to grow? What do you see in the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's come a long way. Like I said, I never really expected it to become what it is. We are now onboarded Snake Wranglers, 45 people. I've got 5 more right now that are somewhere in that onboarding process, waiting for their gear to show up, waiting to be trained. So we will have another 5. So we'll be at 50 people by mid-season, which will be July. 50 people all covering San Diego County. And I don't know if you know San Diego very well, but basically what separates San Diego from Orange County is Camp Pendleton, our Marine base, Semper Fi. So we cover Pendleton all the way down to Tijuana, which is our Mexican border. and we can cover all of that now. So the more people that we have on our team means the more yeses I can give when someone calls and says I have a snake. And keep in mind, most of my team is still employed doing something else. So they have a job, they have a family. So it's not like when I get a call, I can make people go. It's who's available, who's close to that area, and who has the time. So the more I have, the more yeses and the more coverage we have, which is great. For me, a failure is when I have a call that goes unhandled and I know the next call they're going to make is to the fire department. And, you know, last year we had 1,116 relocations that we successfully did. That's not including all the ones we get there and can't find the snake or whatever. So let's say we had 2,000 calls, we got 1,116 snakes. We're going to probably max that and go over that by June or July of this year. We're just booming. My phone literally never stops ringing from the time the sun warms up enough that the snakes come out, which is around 9 in the morning, till dark. And we're not even technically in snake season yet. We should just start to be picking up next month, May. But we had February, we had ton. March, it's been ridiculous. April's already been ridiculous. So we'll keep growing. Where we're going to go with this, I have no idea, if I'm being really honest. I mean, my goal, I'm going to share my age here. I'm 61 years old. My goal is to be retired from my real job in the next few years. I'm not going to put it out to the world. But when I do retire from that, I am not a golfer. I am a Speedo wearer, though. I might do more Speedo activities, but I am not going to be on the golf course, and I am not one to sit around. So my thought is, if I've been able to build it this much, fully employed doing my other job, oh man, get ready. Because when I'm retired, the world is my oyster. I would love, in a perfect world, if I think about this, is we started to have, I'll use the word franchise, but franchises in Orange County and Imperial County and LA County. And pretty soon there's Snake Wranglers LA, there's Snake Wranglers Orange County. Who knows? We could cover the whole state of California. But that's a lot of work. You know, I'm the quarterback. I always call myself the quarterback. All the calls come to me and I just sit there and put them out. You know, I do go on a lot of calls myself, but you know, I got 2 young kids that are going to be going to college soon. So I also want to max out my time with them. So my wife, you know, if a snake call comes in and it's dinner time and I've just sat down with my kids, she gives me that look like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And I know I messed up one marriage. I'm not going to mess up a second marriage. So, you know, I pick and choose my calls, but I've got a lot of young people that, you know, when I'm physically incapable of doing this, that are going to keep charging with this thing. I hope that's my goal. I got a lot of amazing humans that I love like family. And my hope is when I'm way too old or in a home in a wheelchair, they can keep the Snake Wranglers rolling.
So coming from this one, I have quite a few questions that I want to try to roll out, and we got a couple in the comments. So the first one is, you talked about your Speedos and we talked about snakes. Is there going to be a video that's out that's, you know, Bruce in Speedos wearing snake boots handle snakes?
Oh shit. Okay, well, if I could rewind the clock to when I was in triathlon shape and I could merge that with the Wranglers, absolutely. Man,
Chat GPT can change a lot of things. So
no, but it's, I mean, back then, I would say for sure I would have done it. But now it's not as pretty anymore. I'm just gonna be honest. It's not ugly. I mean, it's not ew, but it's not that good. But I mean, if you've ever watched any of my videos, my fashion on my snake calls is sometimes pretty god awful, because you got to think about it. I live in San Diego. I'm a surfer. I'm in board shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt a lot of my life. And the snake calls come in. And I don't bring a wardrobe change, but I do keep my snake boots. So a lot of times you're going to see Bruce in surf shorts and camo snake boots and a t-shirt. And it's not good. All the colors are just like someone vomited on the screen. But you know what? I really don't care. Fashion is not what I'm worried about when I'm focused on a big old rattlesnake.
I'm sure we might get a Chat GPT version of you doing this in a Speedo. And people tend to send us weird stuff like that. So if we do get something like that, we'll send it to you. You can use it as you want to.
Well, I will tell you this. Mick said he had a custom Speedo maker. So maybe drop me who that is. And, maybe they can let the seams out of one of mine a little and do something custom for me.
I got you, man. Actually, Amazon, man. They're pretty cheap. It got here in like 2 weeks. It's great, man. Amazon. You can find anything on Amazon. It's great.
Well, they do have the Speedos that have like the elephant trunk.
Oh,
that elephant trunk could be like a snake. Just saying.
You would be shocked at the Speedos that I actually have. I've got one with a cobra face right in the front, and it's got a little tongue coming out. And if I can dance just right, I can make that tongue twirl. It sometimes throws my back out, though. I got to warm up for it. I can't just do it cold. I got to limber up a little.
And now's a good time to say welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast.
Got to stretch a little snake Speedo yoga.
Yeah.
Get ready for it.
Oh yeah. And
all right, so
go ahead.
Talking. Let's go ahead and steer this one back on.
Right.
How do you? One of the things I kind of want to know is, you've got your day job that you're working. You also got your family time, and you just talked about, and then you've got Snake Wranglers. How are you able to juggle everything to get it to where it's running efficiently? Because it sounds like you have a lot on your plate without Snake Wranglers. But when you add that into there, how are you able to keep all of that on track?
Yeah, that's actually an excellent question. I've got a couple people on my team that I would call my generals, and they are effective, efficient, safe, and trustworthy and accountable. And when I take a trip that I know I won't have access to my phone, that's when we have problems, because people call me, and if I don't answer, they call the fire department. So answering my phone is critical. So what we've determined is I can forward my phone to one of my generals, who then becomes the quarterback. So it's like bringing in, your backup guy off the bench. He's just as good. He just hasn't had a lot of time. And we find that it works really well to do that. The problem is I get up really early in the morning. I'm a 5 a.m.er. My coffee and my social media gets done before 6. I then go train and go do something. But I also like to go to bed relatively early. I'm a 9:30, 10 guy. I mean, I know that sounds awful, but my phone, I turn it off then. So what I've learned is if there's a snake in someone's yard at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, it's probably not a big problem. And I usually wake up to a message that says, hey, there's a snake. It's 10 o'clock at night. I call them that morning. They say, nope, it's moved on. Because usually it's not a big deal if it's nighttime. They're not actively in their yard barbecuing or playing in their pool or playing with their kids. So it's not as big a deal. But yeah, there are days where I'm pulling my hair out. My phone does not stop ringing. I'm pushing out one call, another call's coming in. I'm pushing out that call, another. Then I got to go back and remember which call was doing what and what call. Because I mean, it gets hectic. It really does. There's days where I just feel like turning my phone off, but I don't. I can't.
So I'm not taking anything away at all from our men and women with the fire department, because they do a fantastic job. But I would say that it sounds like you consider it a win when your people can arrive to a scene to take care of a job before the fire department has to do what they're technically supposed to do. Not really what, is what you want them to do, but it's what they're told they have to do. So for you, if your guys and gals can beat them to the job, that's a win for you guys.
Well, I'll tell you one big word: liability. This is what I was challenged with when I started pitching the fire departments. Let us train. My first pitch wasn't let us train you guys. It was, when you guys get a call for a snake, just send it to us. And they said, as much as we would love to do that, we can't. If the call goes through 911 dispatch, legally they have to respond. They can't forward that call to the Snake Wranglers. So the next thought was, okay, then why don't we train you guys on how to do it right without an axe and without a shovel? And what's crazy is We've now trained hundreds of firefighters. And the first thing I do when I get up in front of a group of firemen is ask, how many of you have had formal snake training? And if one or two hands go up in the room, I'm shocked. Most of them have had zero snake training. So think about it. You go through the academy, you've been taught how to use the jaws of life. You know how to use a hose. You know how to use an axe. You're a trained firefighter. You're an EMT. You're a paramedic. So medically, you know a lot about a lot of stuff. You go on the job the first day. Your first call you go on is a rattlesnake, and you've never been trained. And I always joke and say that would be like me getting a phone call to go on my first day and go put out a house fire. I would have no clue. So what we finally figured out was we would come in, train the firefighters, and teach them how to do it with respect and safely and be kind to the animals, which shows the community too that our firefighters are not killing our native wildlife, which they said was a big problem. These homeowners would cover their face and hide their kids' eyes because it's graphic. It's horrible. So we train these firefighters, and then what we do is with some of the stations that are logistically close to where my team is, they would get the snake from the yard, on the truck, off the truck to the fire station, and then call us. And then we would come and do the part that they don't have time to do, which is the hiking into nature part, the relocation part. So that's the deal we've made with most of the cities. They show up back to the station. They've already contacted us. We show up. We transfer the snake from their bucket to ours. We say hello to the firefighters. We get the address that the snake was removed from, which is a critical part of relocation because we have to take them back to a very close proximity to where we got them. And then my team takes them out into nature. What we're now doing is we are going to start being part of the academy. So early on, when these young firefighters are just starting out, part of the whole academy, which is like, I think it's 4 months, snake training is now going to be part of the academy. So from the get-go, they're going to have the safe training, which should have been how it was years ago, but it wasn't. So, I don't mind the firefighters going because I love what they do. I respect them immensely as long as they're doing it right. And the fire stations that we're training, and we're going city by city, they're doing it right. So as long as they're not showing up and killing them, I'm fine if they go, as long as they know how to do it.
So one more time, excuse the rain in the background. I know everybody can hear it. I know you are very much about taking care of the snake itself. So I want to go into your steps. You've got this whole SOP of what your team does. So let's start from the beginning. You get that call, there is a rattler, whatever. Tell us about how you go about what gear you use, what you do to capture the snake, and then what you do to relocate the snake.
Yeah, that's a great question. So like I said earlier, everybody has to have purchased their own gear. I'm very specific about what that gear is. There is a lot of crappy stuff out that you could buy that would be unsafe to you or that would break the first week. So I specifically tell them, this is what you're going to buy. This is the investment you're going to make. And that's the gear that we all carry. So everybody has their own vehicle. In that vehicle, they have the hook, the tong, the bucket. They always have to have boots. If I ever see any of my people showing up in flip-flops or Tevas or Crocs or any of that stuff, they get one warning, then they're gone. You got to be safe. You got to put out the professional image. So you showing up in flip-flops to a snake call to get a rattlesnake is not that. So everyone shows up with their gear. They're trained to bring all of that gear, regardless if they think it is or is not a rattlesnake, because there is often misidentification. Someone thinks it's this, it's not this, and now I've left my gear in the car because I thought it was going to be a gopher snake. So we bring everything, and then once we're on the scene, it's up to the homeowner to show us where the snake is. Now, sometimes they've gone back in the house and they're watching I Love Lucy reruns, and we get there and they're like, oh, it's gone. And that makes us upset because typically we'll leave, the snake will come back, they'll call us again and expect us to come back again. So if they're doing their job, they're watching the snake, they can give us the general vicinity and then we locate it. A lot of times it's easy. It's just sitting there, we get it. Sometimes we've got to truly wrangle it. Sometimes they're dangerous situations, caught in fence material, caught in chicken wire, caught in garden netting. Now you got a pissed off rattlesnake that can't escape, which is their first line of defense. Now it doesn't have that option. So my only other option then as a snake is going to be to bite the person that's coming at me. So those calls get what I would call sweaty balls. That's when stuff starts getting moist. But we're all trained to handle those calls. Once the snake is in the bucket's sealed, the bucket goes back in that person's vehicle. It is now that person's job to take it back into nature. Again, we only take it a very short distance. Quarter mile is perfect. Anything further than that drops the chance of that snake's survival. We never go beyond a mile. So a square mile from the house that we get it at is typically our release site. We're fortunate in San Diego. We still have a lot of open space. And with Google Earth, I can put it in an address and I can easily extrapolate from that where my location is going to be. We put the bucket into a backpack so people don't see that we're carrying a snake bucket, and we hike it back in. When there's no one around, we let the snake go back into nature.
That's extremely awesome. I love the fact that you're still taking care of the snakes, even though, just like, growing up, we would have been just like the firemen. We were all about get rid of the snake, and you guys are about saving it, keeping it. What are some of the snakes that people need? I know our snakes here in East Tennessee, West Tennessee are different from what you guys have out there. But what are some of the snakes that people need to be on the lookout for that could be dangerous versus non-dangerous? In your area or mine? Either. If you know the snakes in our area, I would love you to say Tennessee. Yeah. So in the United States, there are only 4 types of venomous snakes. And of those, and I'm going to make a statement here that I don't want people to take wrong, they are not on the scale of deadly to non-deadly. They are not high on the list. None of our snakes, except for the coral snake, is that dangerous. Now, could they kill you? Absolutely. If you get bitten, should you be treated? Yes. Could you lose an arm, a finger, a hand? Absolutely. So I'm not downplaying it. But what I'm saying is there are snakes in places like India and Africa and Australia that literally when you're bitten, you're on the clock to potentially die immediately. So backing up to the United States, our snakes are not as bad. I know people are going to go, oh my God, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, a copperhead is a dangerous snake, and you have those where you are. A timber rattlesnake is a dangerous snake, and yes, you could, potentially die. A water moccasin, it's a bad bite. But all of those snakes collectively are low on the scale of toxicity in their venom. So that said, what I always suggest is wherever you live, doesn't matter. If you live in Connecticut, if you live in New York State, if you live in Louisiana, if you live where you guys live, where I live, you should know your local snakes. Take the time to learn what they look like. What are their behavior? Are they big? Are they small? What is their patterns? Do they have certain things on their body, like a rattle, that will indicate it is indeed a venomous snake? In California, when we do these talks, we tell people there are 72 different species of snakes in the state of California. Only one, if you're bitten by, is dangerous. Now, there's 7 species of rattlesnakes, but they're all rattlesnakes. You guys have a couple more to be concerned with, so take the time to learn what they look like. But here's one thing about all venomous snakes in the United States, or really anywhere. They're not out to get us, okay? They are not going to chase you. People go, oh my God, copperheads, they're so aggressive. No snake is aggressive, meaning they come to you for the fight. They have to feel threatened before they defend themselves. So that is not aggressive, that is defensive. Very different behavior. Snakes are not hunting us, okay? If you watch the movie Anaconda or Snakes on the Plane or any of the movies that depict snakes, it's all BS, okay? It's Hollywood BS. Snakes in general, they live on the ground. They lay on their bellies. Think about how big we all look to them. We are a threat. They see us as an oh shit thing that might hurt them. And they're going to do everything they can to either blend and camouflage and hope you don't see them. If you still see them and you challenge them, they're going to defend themselves by coiling up
and hoping you don't close that gap. That is defensive behavior. That is not aggressive behavior. So if you know that about snakes, you can start to understand that just because you're out hiking or camping and a snake comes across your campground, you're not in imminent danger. They're not going to chase you down and go into your tent and bite you. That's just not nature of snakes. So know your local snakes, certainly know which ones are potentially a threat, meaning venomous. And the other thing I would say is know the closest vet, if you have dogs, that carries antivenom, because not all do, and know what hospital or medical facility, because heaven forbid you are bitten, you're going to be scared shitless. Where do I go? Where do I drive to? Where do I call? You need to know that if you have your phone and you have cell service and you're bitten by a venomous snake, dial 911. It is now it's a medical emergency. Now you do dial 911, and they will dispatch an EMT paramedic team that is trained to deal with snake bite. You can then relax and let them do their job, that they will get you to a facility that will administer antivenom, and you will be 99.9% of the time fine. You can take a deep breath. I would never want to be bitten by a venomous snake. I would guess it's pretty scary, but I've also accepted the fact that it's probably potentially something that could happen because of what I do. But I also understand the safety procedures and the processes that go into what do I need to do if I am bitten? Where do I need to go? And when I get there, what are they going to do to me to make sure I'm okay? And again, you're bitten in India by a saw-scaled viper, you got about 20 minutes. That's it. Yeah. Here's one thing I'll point out too, because this statistic always seems to put people back on their heels a little bit. In the United States, annually, there's an average of 8,000 people bitten by venomous snakes. 8,000. There are 340-ish million people in the United States. So 340 million, 8,000 venomous snake bites a year. Of those, on average, 5 people don't survive it. Wow. It's a really, really low number of people that die. Of those 8,000 bites, when you go to a hospital for treatment, they check your blood, and what they find is most of those people that are bitten are men between the ages of 17 and 25 with a measurable amount of drugs or alcohol in their system. What does that mean? It means macho guys like, here, hold my beer, I'm going to grab this snake, and they get bitten. If people like that stopped, the number of snake bites in the country would drop to about 1,500 a year. That's it. That's it. Really, really low number.
Wow. Yeah, I've only ever seen one snake since moving to Memphis, and that was actually a few weeks ago. We saw a cottonmouth when we were actually.
I'm not listening, but my wife's in the lobby going, "Can we come up?" I'm like, "Come on up."
Yeah, come on, meet the fam.
Yeah, you get.
But yeah, I saw I'd say it was a good 3.5, 4 foot cottonmouth. It was a good sized snake, and it was beautiful. And trust me, I did not want to hold it. I didn't want to move it. I was letting it do its thing. But there's definitely more of a chance in Memphis of getting shot than there is getting bitten by a snake. But it's all good.
It's crazy because statistically, and sometimes when people are like, "Well, the only good snake is a dead snake," I always ask them, "Well, do you have a dog?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I love my dog." In this country, and I'll probably piss off some people saying this, but it's the statistics that speak. I'm not saying this out of my butt. 50 people die a year from domestic dog bites. So if I apply the theory of, you know what, the only good snake is a dead snake because they could hurt you or could kill you, well, then I should start taking a hammer or a shovel to every dog I see because they could hurt me. And I would never do that. I'm a dog lover. I love all animals. But you just got to think when you say the only good whatever is a dead whatever, it's just very short-sighted and ignorant.
So no matter where you're at in the country or in the world, like you said, everybody needs to get caught up on what snakes are in their area. But you know as well as I do, 90%, 99% of the people are not going to learn about what snakes in their area. So for the people who are just listening, whether it's a poisonous snake or a non-poisonous snake, when they walk up on a snake in their yard, in the woods, hiking or whatever, what advice would you give to them? They see the snake. Oh, crap, it's a snake. I don't know what it is. What should I do?
Best question you've asked all night. First of all, I always tell people, seeing anything out in the wild, whether it's a squirrel or a hawk that flies over, you should be appreciative, be grateful. There will be a time soon where seeing something in the wild is going to go away. We are killing things at a fast rate, but I won't go into that. But if you see a snake, all you have to do is give it space and appreciate it. Snakes are not going to close the gap. I already talked about that, but they're also very peaceful animals. If they don't feel threatened, they're pretty cool to just watch. They just do their thing, man. They're just out hunting rodents. They're not out to get us. I always tell people, take your phone out, take a picture, and feel grateful that you got to see whatever that snake is for that day, because not all of us get to see wildlife. Some people live in cities, they live in high rises, they live in areas that just doesn't have wildlife. But again, if you choose to engage that snake, meaning hurt, move, throw a rock at it, kill it, take a shovel to it, and you're bitten, it's your fault. It is not that snake's fault. It's just like you come up to me and try to hurt me, move me, kill me. I'm going to defend myself, and you're going to get hurt, and it's going to be your fault. Because if you would have left me alone, brother, I'm good, man. I would never come after you. My family's coming in. You can say hi to everybody. Hi. See, these are my daughters and my wife.
Hi.
They're just coming into the hotel room now.
Me and Charles are both girl dads, so we completely get it. So welcome to the Real Smoke family. Like we 100. Hi, how are you?
He asked me earlier, lean down for a second, if you're supportive of what I do.
Oh, well, yes, but as long as nothing gets out of their little cages.
Well, there you have it. Yeah.
Very cool. No, nice to meet you guys. And it's so weird because there's always something full circle moment in our shows when we have somebody on new that we don't know a whole lot about, especially family wise or whatever. And it's so weird how many of the guests we've had on over the past year and a half that we're like, man, girl dads. I mean, that's what we do. And it's a whole different story. I mean, we could probably do a whole show on that, man. But
well, and I'll tell you this, there was a period where I thought that I wanted a boy and I didn't get that. And I'm fine with that. But my girls are tough as nails. I agree. They've been on snake calls. They've been in safari vehicles with lions 10 feet from us. They've been in shark cages with me. They are every bit as brave as any little boy I may have ever had, and I love them dearly. They're my thing.
I'm not going to go on. Oh, go ahead, Charles.
Go ahead. No, go ahead and finish.
I was just going to say I'm not going to go on a deep, long thing, man. But my daughter had 2 brain surgeries. One of my daughters, my other daughter, she kind of was my tomboy growing up and my sports player and whatever. And I was the same way, man. I thought I wanted to have a boy as well. And man, when it came down to it, I realized no matter what you believe in, religious or whatever, like I believe everything happens for a reason 100%. And it was meant to be that way. And I would not change a fucking thing, man. Like there's nothing I would change.
100%. You're given what you're given for a reason. Not too much, not too little. And you're able to handle it typically.
So as a girl dad, I am the outlier with you guys. I do have a boy that's in the middle, but I do remember you saying, and I will use this as a term of endearment, you're a bonus dad. You are the best bonus dad that could happen, correct? I am also a bonus dad to 2 fabulous ladies. So I love the fact that you're doing the job that, you didn't have to do, but you're doing the job that you want to do. Yeah. So ups to you, brother.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So going into the final question that the reason I asked the whole thing about what people want to, what they should do about snakes when they come up on it. I live in East Tennessee. I live right outside Gatlinburg. So everybody comes out here and they're coming from out west, up north, everywhere around the country all year long. And they're hiking our trails and things like that. So they're seeing, we have to put out the signs that says, do not feed the bears. I mean, that's like, do not drink the shampoo. I get that. But, there's a lot of people from, like you said, up north, out west, down south that come out here. They have absolutely no clue what to do when they encounter a snake. So I love the fact that you said, just admire and enjoy the fact that you got to see that snake. So a couple of questions from the chat before we go into the final part. Cigar Test Ride says, what inspires you to keep doing what you're doing?
That's a really, really good question. I would say that, first of all, back up. My parents were both volunteers. My dad would work a full day as an oil trader and come home, put on his EMT paramedic, and be a volunteer ambulance driver for my community. My mother was a rape crisis counselor. So I think it was instilled in me and my sisters at a young age to do your job, but also help in other ways where you could, little or small, help in a way you could. And, when I started doing the snake wrangling thing, again, it was just me and my kids. I didn't realize the scope of it, but I quickly realized how many people we were helping, not just move a snake from their yard, but we drop education on them. We're helping them. We do kid talks. We go to schools. We're talking at community centers. I mean, it's kind of parlayed into a lot more than I ever thought it would. And for me, that's very rewarding. And I think that's why I love doing it. It's not just going and getting a snake. That's fun. I love that. But there's so much more to it. The number of, school kids that we get to talk to, in my mind, is changing the mentality of them when they become adults. I really believe that after we do a talk at a school, they go home, and I would be pressed to think they will never go home and actively hurt or kill a snake. I think we've changed minds, and that's huge for me. And if I can keep looking at those kids that are so happy and they're so excited when they get to see these animals, I just feel like that's what keeps me doing it. It keeps motivating me, and the fire department, that's probably another bonus to this is, if our first responders and heroes are going to be called in on snakes, they better know how to do it. So in my mind, I'm helping that community. I may not be able to be a firefighter in my life, but I have the utmost respect for those men and women. And, I'm now part of their training. So in my mind, I'm kind of one of the team, silly as that sounds.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm not one of the kids that you talk to, but you've definitely changed my mind on snakes.
Oh, that's great.
We live on 5 acres that have horses and animals and stuff like that, surrounded by wood. So it's every year we see some kind of snake that's up here, whether it is venomous or not. And, just growing up, it's been the whole thing of no snake, all good snakes are dead snakes. Yeah. So it's changed my mind to be like, okay, got to rethink this. So
that's enough right there. I mean, you asked me what motivates me. I come on a show with 2 guys that I've only met through social media, and you say something like that, it motivates me to keep doing things like this. I mean, gosh, if I change your mind just a little bit, and next time you see a snake, instead of panicking, if you're with your kids or your wife or your family, and you just say, hey, let's just appreciate this animal for what it is, then I made a baby step in winning, right?
100%. So Dave on here says, do you personally have snakes on your property, or do you relocate all of the ones that you're called out for?
That's actually a fun question. So in doing this, I have now got 6 pet snakes, much to my wife's unhappiness. But I will say this, if we get a native snake, it goes back into nature. All native snakes that are healthy go back into nature. And I say if they're healthy. There are snakes, unfortunately, we have to euthanize because they're injured, damaged beyond repair. But if I get a non-native snake, which we do, the POAs, the pythons, we ultimately can't release them legally, because then you get what's happened in the Florida Everglades, and we have a problem, and it's illegal. So we ultimately keep them. So when I get a snake on a call that is non-native and non-venomous, I choose sometimes to keep them. So I have 6 of those now that I bring in, and they're part of my family and they're part of my educational events. If I can't keep any more, which I've been given hard marching orders, we have no more room, they go out to my team. So I will take a picture and say, hey, I got this corn snake or this hognose snake or whatever it is. And somebody on my team is always quick to take it. They all are snake people. So as far as my own property, we have 2 big Newfoundlands. We have found some snakes on our property. We have a pretty good sized yard with a water feature and everything. And we found 3 or 4 rattlesnakes. I take them from my property and move them just like I would if this was a customer, away from my property. I don't want snakes in my own yard for my dogs. My kids are smart enough to know to stay away from them, but my dogs are not.
All right. So as we end what we're doing tonight, we always like to ask you a question.
Okay.
We have what we call hot box questions. Hot box questions are 2 random questions from Mick, 2 random questions from me. We always got to ask, are you willing to play hot box questions?
Absolutely.
All right,
I can put
tonight's
on a
hot box
Speedo
question.
If you want to do it in a Speedo.
Yes.
We could do that, yes. Tonight's hot box questions are brought to you by Beard Apothecary.
I wish it all sounded like that. But hey, it is what it is. I am a Swiftie by marriage. And that's where it started. 2023, when I had to take her to go see Tay-Tay in Nashville. From there, the Bearded Swiftie was born. And in honor of that, I got to pick my own scent. And here she is, the Bearded Swiftie. It is leather and cedar forward. It's gonna be a core line release. It's gonna be live today, April 16th. So make sure y'all come and get some. And this is a scent that I put this in my beard, walk into the room, good chance I'm gonna take your girl, and I'm probably gonna write a hit song about it, and I'm still gonna have a better beard than you. So make sure you like, follow, and do all the things you gotta do for the Real Smoke family. And we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Stay metal, my friends. Don't let the beard look weird.
So huge thanks to John with Beard Apothecary. Love that ad. By the way, you are the ultimate Swiftie. Love it.
I'm plugging in real quick. My iPad just started to tell me, uh-oh. I don't want to miss the questions. Give me a second. Okay. We're plugged in.
There we go. All right, so Mick, you have the first question. Here we go.
But before I start my question, I got to say I'm recovering from that ad, man. That was I watched it earlier, but it hit different tonight for some reason. Is he the toughest, coolest guy in the room, or a Swiftie? I just don't know what happened. It was crazy. But all right. So my first question, just because I need it for the post show promos, what is your favorite musical band or artist?
So I have 2 young girls, but I am not a Swiftie. No offense to anybody that is. You know, this is going to probably hit you guys as weird, and maybe you won't agree, but one of my favorite bands of all time when I was young and still now was Bad Company.
Love it.
I absolutely, if a Bad Company song comes on, it's loud and proud. I still love pretty much anything they did. So,
oh yeah, love it, man. Appreciate it.
All right, so I absolutely love that one. That is right up my alley. So, what question number 2? What is the hardest lesson in life you've had to learn so far?
Gosh, that's a great question. I mean, being an older dad, you know, I didn't get married second time till 42. Had a first child at 43. I think the hardest lesson is something I still learn every day, and that's patience. I got to take a deep breath sometimes. Not everybody's on my schedule. Not everybody's on my pace, and not everybody wants the same thing I do. And when you have 2 young girls and a wife, sometimes you just got to kind of understand that you got to give as much as you take. And as long as there's a balance in life, I think it tends to keep the flow moving smoothly.
Very nice. Mick, question number 3.
Yeah, and of course I got to say something after that too, man. That's the one thing I wish I'd have maybe had a redo at, because I got married at 18, 19, had kids at 20 in my 20s, and now I look like a genius in my mid 40s, like because I have no kids at home anymore. But I feel like my patience would have been so much better in my 40s, man. That's why I'm one redo. If I don't look for redos, but man, I appreciate that answer. That was a good answer.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, Mick. I'm going to say one more thing is, like I said, I was married earlier in life. Had I had children back then, I could almost guarantee I would not have been a very good father, because I was selfish. And one thing I will tell you about being a dad is you can't be selfish anymore. You gotta think we, not me. And at 23, when I got married the first time, I was all about me. I admit it now. May not have known it then, but yeah, patience and a little maturity goes a long way.
I mean, yeah, like I said, we made it through, and my kids would probably still say they had a great childhood. But man, there's things I wish I'd done differently for sure. But you can't go back and change it, man. I try not to live with regrets, but if I do have one, it's probably I wish I had a few redos in the kids growing up. So, but
yeah, but we learn from our mistakes. We become better from them. So redo. You may have fixed it and not learned from it. So,
I agree. All right, sorry, I got off track here. All right, so I'm going to go a little stupid on this one. I either go really serious with this question or really stupid. So I'm going to go stupid tonight. Hypothetically, would you rather wrangle one giant snake or 100 tiny snakes?
Well, so I will say this: one giant snake would be super exciting, but then what do I do with the rest of my day? If I get 100 snakes, I'm going to be busy for a while. So I would probably choose the 100. Okay. Also, depending on what they are and what the situation is, it'd probably be a lot more adrenaline pump than the 30 seconds it would take me to get a giant snake.
Okay. I like it.
I like that one. All right. So question number 4. If you could relive one day in your life exactly as it was, which day would you choose?
Okay. So when I was young, I used to have a bit of a temper, and I was the first to get into situations that involve physical fighting. And one time I did that. And by the way, I was pretty good at it. But one time I picked the wrong person at the wrong time and didn't end as well. And I still pay for that day because it did a lot of damage to my teeth. And even this day, I regret that day. I wish I'd have walked away. I wish I wouldn't have engaged. And yeah, physically 61 now, that was probably when I was 20. It still is a day I wish I had to do over and would walk away.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So our last question to ask from you isn't from us. So our final segment with you is what we call Ask It Forward. And Ask It Forward is a question from our previous guest, and they have asked you a question that they would like to ask. So are you interested in hearing their question?
100% yes.
All right. So the last segment we have to do is brought to you by Southpaw Stogies.
What's up, the Southpaw Stogies here? First, I want to just say thank you for supporting us and supporting the Real Smoke podcast. So next time you're in Lebanon, Tennessee, please be sure to come out and experience Southpaw Stogies. We've got a great selection of cigars here, great selection of beer and coffee. And by the way, I just want to give another local shout out to Crown's Heads. Look at this beautiful band there. We've got them here at Southpaw Stogies. So we're here at 402 East Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee. And stay smoky.
Just want to say huge thanks to Wes over at Southpaw Stogies. He hosted me over the weekend. I got to hang out with him and Robert with 13 Knives and got to enjoy some good cigars, great company, and got to experience the lounge. So, Mick, what is the question from our guest from last week?
All right. So, Zach from HDA Cigars. And as I mentioned in the green room, I kind of screwed up and hit him with this like 50 minutes before the show. So, we may have touched on a few of these things, but I still think it's a solid question. It says, as a Wrangler, I'm sure that you have deep respect for snakes rather than fear. That being said, what snake makes you most afraid? And how would you recommend someone who deals with a deep fear of snakes to cope? So apparently he's pretty scared of snakes too. But
so that's a great question. And I think what I'll do is break it down 2-part because it's kind of a 2-part question.
Yeah. Yep.
So most of the calls that I go on are not run of the mill, but snake situations that I've been in before. And using my tools, I'm always at a safe distance from the snake. So I know I'm not in range, which means I'm not in danger of a bite. However, that changes when I arrive on the scene and a snake is stuck in whatever fencing material or sticky traps, which are those bug traps that go in the garages, or garden netting. Anytime a snake is stuck in that, they can't retreat, and now they pose a real threat to me. That's when I feel my heart rate and my pulse start to increase because now I'm facing a higher level of risk than normal. And I still want to save this animal and I want to do what's right by this animal. But I also know that one mistake and I'm in the ER, I'm in intensive care unit. So that is the time that I feel I have to slow down. Every step has to be calculated. Every move I make has to be thought out. And if it does get to a point where I feel I cannot do what I need to do to help this snake, I have two options. And I hate to admit this, but one of them is I would call for backup, meaning I would call for a second set of hands, eyes, ears, tools. And that's usually what works. But I've always told my team, if you are on a call and you cannot safely get that snake into your bucket because you or somebody else may get bitten, sometimes you have to do the unthinkable, which is euthanize a snake. And that's never off the table. We don't want to use that card or play that card, but that is there for my team because I don't want anybody to put themselves in a situation where they're going to take a bite just because they think they might let me down. And then the second part to his question is anything that's fear. What I've learned in life is we fear what we don't know anything about or don't understand or haven't tried or haven't been exposed to. So I would suggest whatever your fear is in life is to take some time to learn about it. You know, if it's skydiving, learn how to skydive, you know, jump out of a plane, try it once, because it's probably not going to be scary. If you don't like cramped spaces, have your spouse lock you in the trunk of the car for an hour or two, but you got to expose yourself, man. You got to try it because I think what we fear is what we don't know. And it's normal. I mean, I get it. I fear things too, but I have found that the things that I have feared, if I just put a little time into learning about them and maybe giving it a shot, tends to be not as scary as you thought it was.
Love that advice, man. I feel like that's what I've done as I've gotten older in life is if something scares me, I want to know more about it and I want to dive into it head first, man. So I love that advice. That's perfect. So no, amazing advice, man. That's great.
That's great.
All right, so let everybody know where they can find you online or your Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Any last piece of advice you want to give anybody? This is your chance. This is all about you. Go ahead and let everybody know what you want to know.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
To tell them.
I think the one takeaway we always leave with people when we do these talks is, again, snakes aren't evil. If you've watched movies and read books, the Bible, whatever, you're going to think that. But if you expose yourself to them, even if you start at a zoo and just go look at them in a cage, you'll realize they're just passive creatures doing what they do. So I think once you do that, some of that fear that you've learned from books, movies, or whatever will go away. So just give them a chance. Next time you see one, you don't have to go out and kill it just because it's a snake. If you ever do want to see the videos that I put out, and again, I put out a brand new video every morning around 6 o'clock when my coffee's hot and my house is quiet. My Instagram is Wrangler_Bruce. And then on YouTube, it's a little different because I started my YouTube before the snake thing. So it's my last name, Ireland, and then RBI, like runs batted in. So it's Ireland RBI. That's my channel on YouTube. And again, same videos go up on both. YouTube allows for just a little bit longer. I can put longer videos. So if I do have something that just needs to be told in longer format, I'll post it there. But Instagram's great. Like I said, new videos every day. Some of them are more exciting than others. Some of them are just awesome. Even when I watch them, like, that was badass. So hopefully you enjoy them. I'm always open to answer questions. So if anybody has a private message they want to shoot me on either format, I try to do my best to keep up with all the messages, and I would love to meet everybody that enjoys snakes as much as I do.
So I got like 2 or 3 things here real quick, and then I'll let Charles close it out. So first thing, expect a bunch of clips from this show. We do this every week. It's not just you, but it's up to you whether you want to collab on it or not, whatever. We appreciate your time, but we're going to put out some good clips from this show. So expect that to start hitting your Instagram probably tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, maybe the next day. We always like to say, man, you're part of the Real Smoke podcast family now. If you ever need anything or want anything, I know you have a lot bigger following than we do, but like, honestly, man, anything you need or anything you want to collab with in the future, tag us in it, man. We'd love to put it back out there for you and continue to, get that knowledge out there that you're sharing with the world. So anything you want to collab on, man, hit us up in the future. And lastly, I didn't even talk to Charles about this. He loves it when I do this. Send me, see him shaking his head up there. It's great. We love to do this to each other. Send me your look at our merch store. Pick out your favorite shirt. Send me your size. We're going to send you a shirt because I'd love to see you wrangling a snake in one of our shirts. So
I would do that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll send you a shirt. Pick it out on there. Send me a screenshot. Let me know. I'll get that ordered for you. I'll get it sent to you, brother.
You're the best. You guys were great. This was an absolute blast to do. You know, podcasts are always interesting because you trust that the hosts are going to guide you down the road and you don't look like a dummy. And you guys were the best, man. So comfortable, so at ease. Feel like I could jump in a Speedo and grab a thing of whiskey and light a cigar with you. So maybe that day will come too.
I sure hope so.
I can only imagine you and Mick both in Speedos and we're talking about snakes. Here we go. So it's all good. So the only thing I was going to ask is, hey, next time you do a video, do it, you know, it's a big ask. Do us a favor. Just say, shout out to the boys at Real Smoke. And we would love to post that one just because it would be awesome. But in all seriousness, thanks so much for being on here. We are trying our best. Mick always says it. We value ourselves as a great cigar and whiskey podcast, but we don't want to be a cigar and whiskey podcast. We want to be an entertainment podcast. We want to be a podcast that anybody can listen to. And having you on here tonight is something that helped us out, and it kind of helps us branch out and go outside of our comfort zone. So this is something that we want to thank you for, and we appreciate you for being on here. So please tell the wife and the kids that we said thank you for allowing you to spend your night with us, and we're going to allow you to finish your evening with them.
Charles and Mick, my honor. It's been so much fun, and I have a feeling we will meet again, whether it's on this little screen or sharing a beer somewhere in the world. But thank you for your time, and you guys were both great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks so much. Have a great night.
Yeah.
See you.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
See ya. There you are. What's up, Mick?
Hi, bud.
That was a fun episode. Just saying.
Yeah, man. We didn't know what to expect. I mean, we just communicated a little bit online and got everything set up. But man, what a great guest! I know we say it a lot, man, but maybe it's us. Maybe we're just good at this. I don't know. Maybe.
I hope that people tell us that we're good at this. I mean, I listen. I know you listen to a few podcasts. I spend every moment of my day that I'm not working with earbuds in my ear listening to a podcast. And one of the things that drives me nuts is when there's either when the host talk among themselves more than they talk to the guest, or when they don't pay attention to the guest. And I listened to 2 or 3 this week where they asked the same question to a guest because they weren't paying attention. And when you listen to him, I was over here just going,
oh yeah. There was
just keep talking, dude.
Where I'm like, dude, take over, man. This is great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, the story with the hoarder house, man, I was so riveted to that story. I'm like, man, the kid and it's just so much going on in that. And he almost stepped on a rattler. It's insane. But yeah, great stories, man.
His stories are so good. But we have Mike in our club that talks about passion and conviction every time about everything. And when you look at him and when you listen to his story, he's 100% passion and conviction about snakes. And you don't hear that too often. No. And again, what I told him was, it changed my mind about snakes. Okay, I'm going to look at them different, give them the respect that they deserve, and pray to God they don't stick around. That's my last point. I just don't want them to be here.
I agree. No, it was amazing.
Anyways, guys, we do have a few things to do, and I'm going to let Mick talk here in just a second. But we didn't have any of the scrolling bars and all that stuff tonight. If you are somebody who's never won from us before, please type in #RealSmoke in the comments. Type in #RealSmokeNew in the comments. And if you are somebody who's won from us before, but you haven't won this week or this month, type in #RealSmoke, and we'll get to you here in a minute. So, anyways.
Oh man. Also hit that subscribe button if you're still watching us. It's a great time.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I think over time this one's gonna grow legs, which is kind of ironic because snakes don't have legs.
Snakes don't have legs.
This show just screamed to me, man. This is gonna be something big because and he was just such a great guest, man. So easy to talk to. The stories were all amazing, and you're right. It's because none of it's fake. It's who he is. It's what he loves. It's his passion, and he just talks, man. And you got to listen. I mean, he's just a good dude. So I really do hope we can have a beer sometime. The Speedo's optional, but hopefully we can have a beer sometime.
He was very adamant about Speedos. I mean, once he heard about Speedos, he's like, Speedos, got to get in Speedos. So, I mean, you two are like spirit animals of each other. You're like Speedos.
We are. Yeah. It's all right. Whatever
so
it takes.
we do have a cigar review to do.
We do.
I want to play their ad, but I'm going to do this instead. So Cigar Army is the sponsor of our cigar review. They do have a fundraiser coming up, and it is the EMT fundraiser Premium Non-Nacree Foundation. I'm trying it. I'm doing the Mick thing here.
Thank you.
It is Saturday, June 13th. Brothers of the Leaf Lounge in New Windsor, New York. Ticket prices are $70. It gets you one cigar, beer, high noons, soda and water, food by Chef Steph, and a cash bar is available. Raffles will be sold in event only prizes. So, guys, go check out Cigar Army and what they are doing. You can't ask for a better group. They are constantly working to try to support different foundations and things like that. We appreciate them for being on with us, but I thought it was more important to go ahead and talk about that one more time instead of doing their normal ad read. So
yeah, and we'll be seeing them Monday, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. So we do have a cigar review to do. Are you ready for that one?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. You're up first.
So, as we mentioned earlier, we smoked the Northern Cigars El Brujo Green. And so I think the boys are watching because I think they tugged me in something earlier. Sergio, Roberto, right? That's, yeah, there it is right there. So let me say this. Charles and I have different palates when it comes to that minerally earthy note. Great constructed cigar, great burning cigar, great smoke output. Not my profile. So we'll go from here. I'm interested to see what Charles's review and his scoring ends up being. But boys, I'm sorry. The red and the blue, 100% in my wheelhouse. The green, not so much. I will say also the aroma from the cold draw, or before I lit it, it was pre-light. I didn't get a whole lot off the aroma, but the cold draw was enjoyable. That was probably my favorite part of the cigar. Aroma from the body, I got light hay and a little bit of dark fruit sweetness. Aroma from the foot, I got a natural tobacco sweetness and light earth. Taste from the cold draw, I got natural tobacco sweetness, raisins, and a slight mustiness. First third notes, I got light black pepper and a heavy mineral note. A little bit of caramel notes, grains like cereal notes, and definitely heavy on the earth. Retro, I got light black pepper, grains, and earth. Second, third notes, I got light black pepper, again, a heavy mineral note, earth note. I got a little bit, about halfway through, it changed a little bit. I got some coffee notes and some dark chocolate. Retro, I got the light black pepper, a light floral note at times, and earth. A lot of earth in this one. Final third notes. The spice picked up a lot. I got like red pepper flake quite a bit. Still that minerally note. There was earthy notes, espresso, light cocoa powder. Retro was earth, mineral, and light pepper. Pre-light experience, I gave it an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, I gave it a 12 out of 15. Construction characteristics, I gave it a 27 out of 30. Smoke production, final thoughts, 29 out of 35. I gave it a total of an 86.
An 86. So let's see if our profiles are different or not. So aroma off the body, sweet tobacco, earthy manure. Aroma off the foot, dark fruit, sweet tobacco, a slight tobacco tingle on the lips. Taste off the cold draw, sweet tobacco, mineral, salty, tingle on the lips. First, third notes on the light, lots of earth, mineral, charred oak, slight sweet note at the end. Into the first third are earth, volcanic material, mineral notes, toasted oak, followed by an herbal and tobacco sweetness. The retro is mineral, woody, black pepper, slight sweetness. Draw is great with a nice resistance that allows you to draw in a lot of chewy smoke, but slightly drying. The finish is long and leaves you with a salty, herbal, sweet note. The burn is good, slightly wavy. Ash is good. Strength is about a medium plus. Into the second third, notes up front are dark chocolate, oak, espresso, slight peanut, and a sweet note at the end. The retro is pepper, spice, woody, and a slight cocoa and coffee. Draws great. Smoke is still thick and full. No more dry notes on the palate. The burn is sharp. Ash is thick and chewy. Strength is about a full. Into the final third, earth, black coffee, and oak, followed by a black pepper and mineral note. The mineral note has come back, but all working well together. The retro is coffee, soft black pepper, and a dark chocolate. Draws fantastic. Smoke is thick and full. Finish is coffee, mineral, slight dark chocolate. Burn is fantastic. Ash is thick and holds to the end. Strength is full. So pre-light experiences, give it a 19 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, gave it a 14 out of 15. Smoking construction and characteristics, gave it a construction 9 out of 10. Draw 10 out of 10. Burn 9 out of 10. Smoke production and final thoughts, gave it a 31 out of 35. So I give it a 92. Again, different palates, different likes. Mick gives it an 86. I give it an 82. Real Smoke Podcast gives the Northern Cigars El Brujo Green a 89 average score. So great job to Northern Cigars. We still love everything that you're doing. And I think currently there is only one cigar left in your portfolio that we have not tried.
Okay. One that we haven't reviewed.
It is a Connecticut.
I think I smoked those.
Oh, okay. So I think you got, I was about to say, I think you got one in the pack that I sent you. So that is the only cigar in their lineup that we have not smoked.
And that's the first one that has not hit a combined 90 plus. So from what we've reviewed, and right. it's my fault. It's 2 weeks in a row where it's not heavy.
It's not really your fault. It's just not your palate.
It's not. It's 2 weeks in a row where it was a heavy, minerally, earthy cigar, and I don't mind them like I did when I first started really getting my palate developed, but it's still not my favorite profile, and it just lost a few points for me. But it's a personal preference, man. It's an incredible cigar. Everything they put out is incredible. So
we'll see. I take it into what John told me when we met up last year in Chattanooga. You know, he handed me one of the cigars from one of the brands that we were doing. He said, "You're going to absolutely love this cigar. Mick's going to hate it."
Yep.
And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "This one is spicy. It's high in minerally. You're going to enjoy it." But that's what we're here for. So there's going to be people that watch this one and go, "Hey, I love that Ometepe. I love that volcanic minerally taste.
Yeah,
I'm going to look at what he's doing." And there's going to be people that go, "I really don't care too much for it, so I'm going to look at his profile." So it's standards.
Yeah,
it's I like something, you don't like something, but we came together and gave it still a really decent score.
Absolutely.
So one more time, guys, our next thing we got to do is give away some $25 gift cards to the Cigar Vault, which we did have somebody put in there that it's going to be a new drinking game that every time I do say $25 gift card to Beard Apothecary, somebody has to drink. So Rob. I love that one. Yeah, Rob said that on there. So love it. So we do have two $25 gift cards to give away to the Cigar Vault. If you type in hashtag Real Smoke New, which we are drawing first, that is going to be somebody who's never won anything from us before.
Heck yeah.
If you type in hashtag Real Smoke, you've won from us before, but you haven't won from us this month. So, Mick, there's other things that you got to say to go along this while I get everybody together. Go ahead and say those things.
Yeah, so if your name is not for the second drawing, if your name is not Get Your Ends Up, Hologram, Rob the Cigar Czar, Uncle Mitch, or Smokey G Banff Gary, you are eligible to win the actual hashtag Real Smoke prize. As Charles said, Real Smoke New is something we're doing now to try to spread the love a little bit. Definitely get your hashtag in there if you've never won from us before. If you don't see your name in here, we're told by StreamYard 100% your name is in there. It will rotate through. Your name's definitely in there. Also, let's go with what do you think? 4 and 3 tonight? 4 and 3?
4 and 3. So first one's going to be 4. So remember, you have to be live in the chat. If you are live in the chat when your name gets up there, you'll have about 30 Mick seconds to type in that you are here. Remember, 30 Mick seconds could be anywhere from 5 seconds to a minute and a half. It just depends on what Mick decides is 30 seconds.
You never know.
So we are spinning 4 times for this one. So we have 6 entries in here. So the first one is going to be, and the winner is
Riley's in there.
Dave.
There's no way Dave's still up at 10:16 at night in Pennsylvania. I hope he is. Come on, tell me he's here.
Oh, I clicked backwards. Real Smoke New. Oh, it's not typing. Real Smoke New. All right.
Dave, are you
so,
here?
Well, he's number 1, so we got to go 3 more.
Oh shit! I got excited because I saw a name that I was like, shit. My bad.
All right, so here we go. Still got 6 entries. Draw number 2 is we got 2 more to do after this one.
You're
Draw
right.
number 2 is. Wow, I'm on here. Hey, I can't win. Guess
You
what?
can't win.
We draw again. Putting in the comment allowed me to do this. So draw number 3 is a Coulter 25.
Coulter. Love it.
So here we go. This person's going to be your winner. This is roll number 4. Who's it going to be? And Coulter wins again. So Coulter, are you in here, Mr.
Now I can be excited.
Dang,
Your
he
winner.
was fast.
That's
He
awesome.
says, I am here. So go ahead and do us a favor. Go to the Real Smoke Podcast Instagram page and send Mick your mailing address, name, phone number, email address, sperm sample, blood sample of your last born child, all that wonderful stuff, except for the last 2 things. Go ahead and do that one.
Yeah, send me all that tonight. We'll get it sent out.
Celebration.
Hell yeah. Congratulations, bro.
So this one is to anybody. So let me back out of this one, and it goes to, let's see, episode 74. Hashtag Real Smoke. Exclude winners when doing multiple drawings, and we have 13 of them. So this one is just for anybody who hasn't won this month. So here we go. You said 3 draws. Here's number 1. Anybody is eligible to win unless you've won before. Hologram, sorry about your luck, bud. 2 more draws. And the not winner is going to be Woolly Worm. That's the new name. Hopefully you win again.
Okay.
So this is going to be your winner. Is it going to be Woolly Worm? Watch Willie Worm be like a fourth alias of Angel. Just saying. I told you. Here we go. Willie Worm, Mr. Willie.
Is that somebody that's not won this month? Like named Get Your Ends Up Hologram, Rob the Cigar Czar, Uncle Mitch, or Smokey G?
So, Willie Worm, if you're not one of those people, make sure that you type in and you let us know that you're here. You have about 30 Mick seconds. Coulter says, run it again. Maybe Willie Worm.
Maybe that's him.
Yeah, maybe Coulter and Willie Worm is the same person.
It might be.
Mick,
Okay.
you have the option.
Roll it.
Oh, it is. So, Mick, you tell me when to spin it, and I'll spin it again.
Spin it. Let's roll.
All right, here we go. And we spin again, and the winner is Willie Worm again.
What?
How does that happen? We spin again.
We might be here all night.
The algorithm wants Willie Worm to win again.
He loves the name. Jesus mighty.
Oh, dear God. Really?
I see like 5 names in there that haven't won this month, and nobody. Yeah, just keep.
Let's go again. Here we go. We haven't had this much trouble in a while.
No.
Hologram. Has Hologram won?
Yep, he sure has. Spin it again.
Hologram has won, so we spin again. Holy crap, Batman.
This is crazy.
I see names on here that haven't won in a while and new names.
Yep.
Really? Wow.
All right.
The algorithm loves you guys. I'm not sure how, but
He's
why.
He's the new Angel. Oh, Jesus, I just said it.
Did Cigars with Angel win?
He has not won in April. I had to say it out loud, didn't I?
Yeah.
Is he here?
Cigars with Angel is here. So, Angel, you know what to do. You win at least every other week. So, take a shot for every respin. If we did that, we'd all be drunk. If we spin 5 times, does the house? Yes. From now on, if we spin 5 times, we win, and we send in the thing, and we send it to us.
Wow. Okay, that was interesting. That was something.
Yeah.
Something.
Haven't seen that one before.
Saw my kiddo's name on there. I think she was trying to get me an early birthday present, but it's cool. I appreciate her hopping on for a little while.
So congratulations to Cigars with Angel and Coulter, which also has a different name of something else.
Woolly Worm.
That one,
it's the Speedo team. But
I mean, it could be.
I don't know. Yeah, me neither.
All right, so the last thing we have, I'm just thrown off with, like, even when you try to go around the algorithm, it still does the same thing.
Yeah. The same dude hit 6 times in a row. I don't understand. And congratulations. I mean, we'd love to give you 6 prizes, but I don't know what's going on. It was such a weird draw. All right. I guess we got one more.
All right, so let's just say that all of our prizes tonight, thankfully, was brought to you by Brooders.
Listen up, Perf heads. If your cutter feels like a toy and your gear's got no soul, it's time to level up. Brooders Cigar Accessories. 100% American-made. Veteran-owned, built like a tank, passed down like a rifle. This ain't mass-produced junk. It's the heirloom collection. Precision-built with grade 5 titanium, magnet steel blades, magnetic action, and inlays so clean they'll make your humidor blush. Check out the Heirloom Ambassador, a semi-custom raw titanium anodized finished cutter with exotic woods like Purple Heart and Bolivian Rosewood. Or the Heirloom Elite, a fully customizable cutter with Cerakote, abalone, two-tone layouts, every detail dialed in. Each piece is serialized, built with pride, made to outlive you. So if you're tired of plastic cutters and flimsy lighters, go check out Brooders. Hit their website. Get something that matches your smoke game. Brooders, where legacy meets grit.
So we have a little bit of Meanwhile in Memphis. Are you ready for that one?
We do. I think we have a sponsor for that one too, right?
We do.
We do. And
savor every moment with Hayes Gray Cigar. Each blend is crafted for bold flavor, veteran-inspired character, and premium construction. From smooth and approachable to rich and complex in flavor, Hayes Gray delivers a cigar for every palate. Now available our new release, Irmaus du Mar. Order Hayes Gray Cigars online at Fat Boys Cigars and from Wolfpack Cigar Club and the Cigar Vault, Oakdale. Visit our website for a list of nationwide retail lounges and to grab some cool Hayes Gray merch to rep our brand. As always, we've got your sticks.
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and polos running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
Hell yeah. That song never gets old. So I only had one that I was comfortable, that was actually from Memphis, comfortable reading on the air tonight. It was a pretty murder heavy week, man. And some pretty pervy, sick shit that happened this week. And every story I was debating printing off for tonight, I'm like, it's not really something I want to be laughing at or feel good about laughing at. So I did find one. And then I think we're going to do two quick ones where we guess where the story was from. I know that's always a fun event for our listeners and for you. So the Memphis story is.
Are you asking for the listeners to put in where it's from?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So guys, if you're still sticking with us,
this one's a Memphis story. This one's a Memphis story. And then the last two will be the ones they can guess on. So this one's just a fun little story that I found. Memphis, Tennessee, a dog sitter is accused of stealing and selling homeowner stuff. Memphis, Tennessee, a woman hired to watch two dogs for 5 days is accused of stealing bags filled with the homeowner's clothing and other belongings and selling them online. This woman was charged with theft of property between $2,500 and $10,000 after the items were reported missing last month. The homeowner, who did not want to be identified, said that this woman was caught on their Ring camera leaving the house with 34 bags believed to be holding stolen items. She said the bags she used also came from inside the house. So there's a picture of the woman walking out with all these bags. It's crazy. She said that 114 items listed on her Poshmark page for sale and were belonging to the family were stolen. She is selling the shirts and a beer league softball team t-shirt that my wife and I had made 10 years ago. We made the shirts by hand for the entire team. And this woman selling them on her Poshmark page and claims she didn't get it from them. The homeowner said that he confronted the woman after realizing several things were missing from his daughter's closet and after seeing the video of her leaving the house with those bags. He said that she claimed that she had been working at 3 other houses that week and had carried her stuff along, plus some thrift store items she picked up at the thrift store. This woman was released from jail on her own recognizance. She is scheduled to appear in court on April 28th. But yeah.
I wonder if she's buying like all the Real Smoke stuff that's going on and she's selling them at Goodwill.
She might be. It's very, very possible.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor. Go check out the Memphis Goodwill and get your local Real Smoke podcast shirts.
Or Poshmark, apparently. I don't know. One of the two. All right. So news
that's
of the
where
weird.
I get mine.
Absolutely. That's where this one came from. So news of the weird. The first story. I'm going to let you guess what state it's from. This is from the United States.
All right, guys. Everybody in the comments, post in what state you think this is from.
A 25-year-old man from blank drove to the blank county courthouse to pay his fine that he had received for an open container on February 17th. While he waited, Sheriff Rico Barkel observed that he appeared to be intoxicated while waiting for the hearing. He asked the man if he had driven to the courthouse, to which he answered yes. Then he admitted that he had 2 drinks and smoked 2 bowls of marijuana. A breath test confirmed the sheriff's suspicions, with the man's blood alcohol being 3 times the legal limit. He also had an open container again in his car. He was charged with aggravated DUI and open container. The sheriff's office posted about the incident on Facebook page summarizing stupidity is not an excuse.
All right, so we have all the people putting their information on here. So let's go through this really quickly. We do have Halloween Big Al says Florida.
That's always a good guess.
Cigar Test Ride says Alabama. Kai said, "Hey, what's up, girl? What's up,
baby?
I'm so glad you're on here." She says California. Dave says California. Rob, the cigar czar, says Arkansas. I'm gonna say Florida.
Man, I would have never guessed this myself. It was Montana.
And we all lose.
It was Montana.
Wah.
Yep.
Hey, the biggest highlight for this question was Kai's on here.
She is. I will see you in 6 days, girl. 6 days. Maybe 7, I guess, with travel time.
Right now. Hi.
Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, so I'm reading this one. I don't even know if there's a spot to take a country out of this because the name of the title is Meanwhile at the Olympics. I think I have to do that one because of Meanwhile in Memphis. So Meanwhile at the Olympics. The real star of the February 18th women's cross-country team spirit qualifying round in Lago di Pescara, Italy, was Nazul, a 2-year-old Czechoslovakian wolf dog. NPR reported that as skiers flew across the finish line, Nazgul broke out of his doghouse and ran across too, even being captured with the official finish line camera. The owner's dog said Nazgul just wanted to follow us. He always looks for people and loves to run. So, not a great story. Sorry we didn't get to guess the second time, but it said Meanwhile at the Olympics. I wanted to talk about the dog running across the finish line at the Olympics. It was pretty cool. So, Meanwhile at the Olympics. I mean, we could have done a song
At
for
the,
that.
I guess we could have. So is this somewhere that people get to guess, or is just this a we love dogs?
You want to do a fourth one? I could probably pull a name out somewhere. You like the guessing game? I could do another one.
I love the guess. Well, you said 2 guessing games. So
I know, and I
was going-
fudged up because I saw Meanwhile and I got excited. All right. On February 11th, I'll just read it because I don't even know who this person is. Dean Young, 26, entered a park landscaping van in blank, allegedly with intent to steal tools inside, NBC reported. However, Young became trapped inside the locked van and started screaming and beating on the doors. "Help me, I'm inside," he yelled. The landscapers called police, but didn't free Young from the van, as there were machetes inside that he might have used as a weapon. Young, who had posted bail in an earlier case, was being held on charges of burglary and criminal mischief. He was later taken into custody and is awaiting his arraignment. So, what state was that in? Mr. Young got trapped inside a van while trying to steal tools.
There you go. So, guys, posted in there. What state was Mr. Young from? Oh wow! So we have a Florida from Rob. We have a Florida from Dave. Dave's still on here. He's not in bed. Oh my gosh! Goodness gracious!
I'll see you in 6 days too, buddy.
He's such a creeper. He's seeing everybody.
I love
Just
it.
saying. Cigar Test Ride says New York. For some reason, I've got to go with all the Florida people. I got to say Florida.
You are correct on this one. It is Florida. That was a Florida man story. Bravo.
So Howlin' with Big Al said Florida. Dave said Florida. Rob said Florida. All the Florida people win.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So, I will say that had no clue. I mean, we talk about branching out all the time. Had no clue how this one was going to go. to me, I don't care what the numbers say later on, a week from now.
Yep.
I absolutely love talking to him. It was a
Yeah.
great episode.
Amazing.
Something that we're not used to, but get kind of thrown in our lap, and it's like, hey, let's run with it. So
Heck yeah.
love the fact that we got to talk to Bruce. I actually want to figure out how we can get him on again. I don't know what else we can talk to him about, but I want to do it. So thanks so much for Bruce jumping on here. We loved it.
I can't wait to see him wrangling snakes in a Real Smoke t-shirt. It's the coolest thing ever. It's going to be awesome. So
that would be awesome. So if we could get him to get a Real Smoke shirt and say something about Real Smoke, and we get a video, somehow that's going to be on here a bunch. I don't know how.
Yeah, he's great, man.
So,
And we're continuing to go down this road, man. I know I told you for June 18th, our last show of the season, before we kind of roll into the next season. Man, we got a fun one. So we'll keep that at bay right now. But we got some cool stuff coming. It's gonna be great.
So we have a lot of people in the chat that's still going crazy right now. So Helen with Big Al, big thanks for you jumping on here. Dave, Tor, Kai, what's up, girl? Cigar Test Ride, Rob Cigar Czar. There's a bunch of people on here. Rattleblade, what's up?
Good. What's up?
Anyways, thanks so much for jumping on here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Couture says, great show, gents. Thanks so much. Says, we are killing it. We're trying. We're just wanting to bring something to you guys that you enjoy. That's not just exactly cigar content, but it is fun and entertaining. So
absolutely.
Anyways,
we love what we're doing. We love what we're doing.
Talk about
Go
ahead. I was going to say, do you want to talk about what we got coming up?
Yeah, so Monday will be our last show for a minute because I'm going on vacation. Monday. You have a look on your face like Monday? I know. I got a lot of shit to pump out over the weekend too, but we're doing that special short show for Cigar Army. Like we said, it's a great cause. They don't do anything but great causes, man. They check out Cigar Army if you're not already following and watching what they do. It's not about just Cigar Family. It's about anybody they can help along the way. So check out Cigar Army. We're excited to have them on Monday. They can talk about it. They can teach us how to pronounce whatever that word is that we can't say. But we're excited about Monday for that. And then Thursday I leave. We don't have a show next Thursday. I leave for vacation. And then Charles is going to be doing an episode with Cigar Clowns. I'm going to try to jump on from Punta Cana. I might be wearing my Speedo. You never know.
Right.
I'm gonna jump on. I am gonna at least jump on and say hi for a few minutes to I guess it's Ray and Joe this time. So
it's Ray and Joe. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a Real Smoke podcast solo. So something that I have not done before. Already been trying to go over how to do the beginning of the podcast, kind of solo, and trying to figure out how to make it work. So it's going to be interesting, going to be fun, going to be nerve-wracking, going to be I'll kill you later.
You'll be great, man. And then so then we have a little bit of a break again, and I'm going to stop and see Charles. Expect some live content from there. We got to do some stuff, and then we're back with some more exciting stuff after that. We got our conspiracy theory episode. We got a bunch of stuff coming in June that you guys are going to absolutely love. End of May, beginning of June. So we're super stoked, man. Super stoked. We're packed out till July.
Yeah, we came into this year saying that we are going to take 1 week off each month. We haven't done that yet.
We have.
So, but they're about to start happening. So again, we're all going to take some time off over the next couple of months. We're going to take a week off here and there. We're going to try to rest, recuperate, and try to be able to bring you guys the best shit that we possibly can. Last little bit that I want to say is I want to thank once again everybody who reached out over the last few weeks who knew what was going on. All the people that put in the comments, all their condolences and all that stuff. Guys, love you for it. Huge thanks to Bruce for what he said as well. I mean, it's been a rough last year and a half. So I really appreciate all of you for everything that you guys have said and done. So look forward to seeing you guys Monday. It's going to be a fun show. It's probably going to be a short show, but we'll see what happens. And then after that, we will see you in a week or so. So hope everybody has a great night. Mick, close us out.
Yeah, couldn't say it better myself, man. And take time this week, smoke a great cigar with someone you love, and looking forward to Monday, man. Reach out if you need something, brother. Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
See you.
The smoke is thick, the air is tight, cigars are lit, oh what a sight. Pour the whiskey, tequila too, this one for Mick and Charles and you. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. Conversations deep, the stories fly. Ashes fall, with spirits high. The gas is rolling, the penters flow. You've kept us burning, don't let it go. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. From the flame to the end of the night, you're part of the glow, you're part of the light. Mick and Charles.